sphincter pucker when a legend like that tells you to get a breath mint?
Yeah, you smell like smoke. I was like, well, this interview's off to a great start. It's a gap tooth.
Oh, you did not call him gap tooth.
Wow.
You didn't say that.
No, I just took it and said, I'm sorry. Sorry, I just had a cigarette outside, sorry.
Text me and I'll talk dirty to you.
And another time they were having a tournament out in Tahoe, and I had the hotel where all the players are staying.
Yeah, you had the hotel.
I knew where the hotel was and where they were all staying, so I called. That was getting all kinds of people on
All right.
to, it was our anniversary of Fairways and Greens.
Well, sure it was.
Maybe 10-year anniversary, I don't know.
About 10 years.
And I said, Jay, I'm just going to call the hotel and see if I can get some of these players just to wish us congratulations on a 10-year anniversary to Fairways and Greens.
Nice going.
And most of them did. 10, 12, 13 did.
Sure.
Got to Watson.
Oh, what do you?
I can't believe you're bothering me. I don't do things like that. I said, okay, all you got to do is say I don't have time for you. You don't have to scold me. But to call me and ask me to give you a congratulations? I said, well, I'm pretty sure you know who Jay Randolph Sr. is. This is Jay's kid who's doing the show. Just don't bother me ever again. How'd you get this number? I said, well, it's a hotel number. It's not hard to find, buddy.
Oh, you call him buddy.
So that was 2 times that I had to run with him, and I just kind of said, okay, well, I'm done with him.
Cut 5.
I enjoy astronomy.
What's your favorite galaxy, bro?
Probably the Milky Way.
Can you name any others?
Yeah.
His isn't one, too.
Honestly, I couldn't.
Big Dipper, Little Dipper.
But those
aren't galaxies.
those aren't galaxies.
They're star clusters.
But they're not galaxies.
They could be.
They could be.
Iggy, keep going so we can play this as a replay 10 more
I
times.
said I'm a fan. That doesn't mean I know everything about it.
Well, you must know something about it to be a fan.
Intellectual
I gave you one.
things are just my jam.
I gave you the Milky Way.
Yeah, that's our galaxy, though, right?
Yeah.
Aren't we part of the Milky Way?
Correct.
Well, it's still a galaxy.
Yeah.
You asked me for one, I gave you one.
Okay, give me your top 3.
No, there is no top 3.
You're a one galaxy dude.
Alpha Centauri.
That's a star.
I know it is. It's a big star, though.
I'm looking at
We're just naming things in space.
Well, it's astronomy.
And those were the cuts of the week.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I am here with a wonderful sponsor of TMA, and that is Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. And this is something that I experienced, as a matter of fact, years ago. If you get a call from an insurance agency, if you were in an accident, they are not necessarily working on your side. Isn't that right?
Yeah, Tim. I mean, in almost every case, there's going to be an insurance company involved. You know, they typically insure whoever caused the injuries to you by the person or the business that caused it. And unfortunately, from the moment your case begins, the insurance company is actually working against you, trying to minimize their payout. You might get a call from like somebody who seems like to be a really nice person who's just trying to see how you're doing, but their goal is actually to get some information out of you to turn around and use it later to show that you're not as hurt as you actually are. Insurance companies have specialized systems and thousands of workers who follow a playbook to pay you as little money as possible when you're hurt. This is Doug Biggs, and my injury law firm hates insurance companies and their deceitful tactics, and we'll make a fair fight out of it. Visit our website or Google Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Okay.
Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepper and Genie. And now the Pepper and Genie Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepper and Genie.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at tmastl.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Hello, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that Rosalita's Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalita's is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalita's has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, and let Rosalita's cater your next event. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, TPN Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis. You're listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Welcome to the Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. We are in our Michelob Ultra Studios. Timothy, Michael McKernan, Douglas Sullivan Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, the Plowhawk Action Jackson with you. Come on in, friends. The water is really warm today. A lot of boys in it. 314-881-TMA5, EDF group text inbox. And then, for the most part, it's just going to be a caller-driven show today.
Oh, it is. Today's going to be different.
That's right.
Can we see when the phone is ringing?
Jackson?
Will we know? Will we pick it up if it rings?
This narrative that the phone doesn't.
Doug's
get picked
narrative.
Up. Yeah, it's hogwash.
Oh, I like that. Hogwash.
Gosh.
We had a nun at St. Gabriel's. Her name was Sister Marie. She was mean as a hornet. And she would say, "That's hogwash."
Oh. I had a teacher who used to say, call it balderdash.
Oh, I like that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, poppycock, all of the above. It's nonsense. I pick up the phone when people call.
Oh.
Although we've had issues in the last 24 hours, I feel like the phone is just going to explode.
What do we got going on here, Plowhawk?
No, we've had a bunch of issues with all the stations, apparently with some updates. So I feel bad for old Rut.
Computer
one of my
issues you're
favorites
talking
here, Craig Rutledge. Yeah. So I had to talk to him this morning, get things all hashed out. So I feel bad for him in these situations because it's never ending.
It's software update season.
Yes, sir.
Oh, welcome to software update season.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I like you. You're all black everything. Black cars, all black everything.
Well, I got gray pants.
No, it's true, but the listeners can't see your pants yet. That's
Tee.
awesome.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you for the delicious laugh track.
I have to show off my trousers later? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wearing white.
It's after Labor Day.
Thank you. Thank you
Tried to find it.
for the delicious fries.
Topics go quick.
I started.
Is that
a new-
Malcolm Gladwell?
It was
Yes.
Malcolm Gladwell.
So good.
He has a
That's
huge
awesome.
topic about fries.
Yep.
That's just one little
Warson Woods Wacko says, I'm trying to call in and the Virgin won't answer.
Oh, come on, Jackson.
Doug, I am the authority on who's calling in. If someone just texts in that they're calling in, don't listen to them.
It sounds like hogwash.
It is balderdash.
I can see the phone. It's not ringing.
Yeah, thanks, Iggs.
Well, this fella says he's calling.
Well, he's lying.
Ah!
I like a Warson Woods Wacko
Or he's
call.
calling the wrong number.
He brings heat.
What is our number?
636-9004-TMA.
4 TMA. Okay. All right.
Doug, do you know what numbers represent TMA?
Wow.
No,
nice
not
question.
without looking. Mm-mm.
2 is the A.
Yep.
T7, M5, hell, I don't know.
862. So 8 is the T, 6 is the M, 2 is the A.
Okay.
So 9862.
What was 4 MMF?
4 MMF would be 663. Damn, that was a missed opportunity.
That was a missed opportunity.
I would
Like to have that putt back. You know, just didn't hit firm enough.
Could go MMM, and that would be a 666, which is bad luck.
The sign of the devil.
But
Oh,
yeah,
is that right? Lucifer,
Yeah.
friend of the show.
But it's
that
also
what
weird because it's great luck because you have 3 guys or 2 other guys.
That's a good point.
I still miss the days when phone numbers had a name at the beginning of them.
BR5.
We were
Yeah.
Sterling
I was-
1.
I was Yorktown 6, 4189.
We have 2 of the last 3 texts were, hey, Tim, look at me. I'm wearing a color of clothes, too. That's from Michael Frank's Love. And then Tracy Woodson said, Tim, I have clothes on, too. They're just white. Look at me, please. That's from Tracy Woodson.
We were talking about, because I've started a new trend. I don't care about Labor Day. If I want to wear white in December, I'm going to wear it.
Look at that, Doug.
Well, it's only a trend if everyone else follows it.
Well, I'm starting it. I'm going to keep my trend. If you don't want to follow it, that's your fault.
I don't think it makes it a trend if you're the only one doing it.
Well, I don't get why you have to stop wearing white in Labor Day. It's just
You can start again after Easter.
I like white. If it's December and I'm going to go to a Christmas party, I may wear white.
I'll be darned.
I may wear these to my Hall of Fame induction.
Thank you for the delicious boner.
Apparently, the text line wanted to hear that. One person.
Oh, is that right? You're in the text line this morning? That's dangerous. They're not happy.
I hate these people anyway. We're good.
You hate the people now?
I'm kidding. No, I love these people.
Because Professor Roy Hinckley is active, and he says it's time for Darren to remember that the listeners were a big part in his being rehired. I got to tell you, Professor, I'm not quite sure whatever you've been told is
I got
the
fired
truth.
because I got fired because of the listeners.
Yeah.
No offense, I love them, but yeah, I mean, it's,
What'd they do to you?
Well, when management doesn't listen to the show and follows the fan page, it's
that's
some jokes.
Bad thing.
I do
Go over
think
the
that
head.
I think the Plowhawks version is very close to accurate. I got to tell you.
Yeah, because if you listen to the segment, it's funny. We're having fun with it.
We're
but if you
talking
look at
about
the
we're going to do
post-
the best of
Correct,
firing. I mean, because there've been I think there were 3.
Isn't that the one? Yeah.
The first one was Apollo Creed. The second one was Apollo Creed. Then the third one was Clubber Lang.
I don't know.
Call me Clubber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Buck Swope, and I love Buck Swope. I have no issues with
Oh, is
it.
Buck Swope getting blamed?
No, I think it was one of his posts.
I'll blame him.
And actually,
you are going to. He's going to blame.
and actually, management, when firing me in the email, reverted back to a Buck Swope post on the fan page.
I got to tell you, I did not know that.
Yeah, and again,
It's possible I knew it. It's also possible I've blocked it out.
but Buck Swope did nothing wrong. It was a funny part of the segment. I like how the show, takes shot at us. Like, I enjoy that. But like I said, if you didn't listen to that segment and just went based upon the Facebook post, that's what happened. And so it's funny. It's actually really funny to look back on some of the emails and some of the exchanges. So I am thankful that it did happen because it is a great story.
Huh.
Yeah, there's
So
my
no ill will.
point. My point exactly about the fan page. Look, it can get you fired.
See?
Stay off there.
And you are off there.
I can't believe
Allegations of burner accounts false. You condemn those allegations.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to get back on, I get on. I'm not going to get a burner account. I told him I'm off. I'm going to get a fake account.
I, for whatever reason, was blocked from the fan page, and it really pissed me off.
Well, I'm sorry.
These scumbags on the fan page.
I'm not 6. I posted a picture of my pineapple upside down cake yesterday on Instagram. And some nice comments. Iggy, that looks great, and oh my God, that looks fabulous. One guy said, "Great. Who gives an S?"
Oh,
that was on your personal Facebook page or Instagram?
Instagram. So I went and looked at the guy. He's got 0 followers and 1 post.
If that's a dessert version of a swinging situation,
Is
upside down pineapple cake.
Nice question.
That is. I responded to a guy. He says, "Wouldn't that be upside down pineapple cake?" I said, "That would be a swinger's cake."
Are you Kenny Strode on Instagram or Iggy?
Kenny Strode, I think.
No, that's why I couldn't find it.
well, was this pineapple cake your sign
like
to the
pizza.
world that you are a swinger?
Somebody said it looked like a piece of toast with marmalade.
Yeah, that's also live.
It does. No, I just hadn't.
Oh, wow. Who gives an S?
No.
That's from Old Turtle Soup 19,
Turtle Soup.
which, of course, is a burner.
God almighty.
What a wonderful world.
But you wouldn't let something like that bug you, would you?
No, I actually said, "Thanks for commenting. Hope you have a great day." And then I
you
said,
you three bet him light.
Oh, man, they hate that.
and then I went one
I
better.
never do that.
I went one better. I said, and hopefully commenting on my post will get you a follower. Because he has 0 followers.
Boy,
so.
you cut his legs right out from under him.
We got a Juan Pablo's pool boy, Doug's. People are calling in today. They got questions. We've got answers.
But do we? Okay.
Good morning, Juan Pablo's pool boy.
Hello, Juan.
Hey guys, it's Timmy the Tickler.
Yes!
The weasel.
You've been duped again. I don't know what is with these producers, but they try to vet me when they come in. Oh, what do you want to talk about? Just put me on hold. I mean, my goodness, it's ridiculous.
Well, we have a very, very taut and rewarding filter to keep false callers from appearing on the air, and you somehow were able to break through it.
We thought Dave Green was on there yesterday.
That's right.
Well, I was going to say my name was Alex Ogletree, but I decided that would have been too obvious.
Yeah, that probably would have tipped us off.
Things.
Anyway, I want to talk about this new business idea that I'm hoping to get in with Iggy. You guys have time?
Doug, are we taking pitches like Shark Tank on HD2?
How long is it going to take?
The max cap raise, however, is $5. Go ahead and pitch it.
Yeah. I figured my idea, Iggy for some logistics and then Cletus for the backing of the money.
Right.
Sure.
But basically, I want to know if an OnlyFans account actually has porn and naked pictures. I think there's way too many girls out there not posting, their boobs or sex scenes, and you subscribe, and the next thing you know, it's just like basically Instagram pictures. So I feel like we have to find a way for like an OnlyFans Direct to know which ones have good like pornos, like sex scenes.
It's a good point, Doug. I like this idea.
Well, how many OnlyFans accounts are you following to know that this is indeed happening?
I mean, how much money is coming out of your account monthly? I guess is a better question.
Don't, no more than what I used to subscribe for Brazzers, Black, Bang Bros.
Right.
So you're following 20 at least.
How many,
So how many people do you follow on OnlyFans?
Hey, pipe down there, old man.
Answer the question.
don't worry about it, all right? That's between me and my wife and the money we put away for the OnlyFans account.
Oh, your wife is involved in the... Doug, I call it an investment in OnlyFans.
I wouldn't. I think the main premise may be flawed. He may be following one person who's done this.
Well, I'll give you an example of who did that. And she made millions her first day. Was the Cash Me Outside girl?
Oh, she's still making $1 million, dog.
That's very surprising to me, I have to tell you.
She made upwards of $4 million in subscribers her first day because people thought she was going to get naked, and she's never gotten naked.
Exactly.
Good for her.
I feel like they're duping society. You have to be
Doug, do you feel like there should be some kind of law passed by Congress that if you are on OnlyFans, you're naked?
No, I don't. You can do whatever you want to.
Well, I think you should have to put on there nudity. Nudity, you will see nudity. If it's like a PG-13, nobody's going to subscribe to it.
Well, but that's your problem, Iggy. They are subscribing it, and then next thing you know, you're out that $15, $20.
Doug, who's going to watch out for the people of America?
I don't know. If you're creepy enough to follow a bunch of people on OnlyFans hoping to see them naked, you kind of get what you get.
Just go look for the leak stuff first, and you'll see if they get naked or not.
Well, I do, Iggy, but sometimes you can't find those. And, Reddit doesn't have everything. And, I want to know if I'm going to subscribe to this, am I going to be able to use this later? Is my love going to enjoy what I see here,
Watch it.
I'm with you. I've never subscribed to OnlyFans, but I've heard where, we were...
All right.
This is stupid. We're paying...
Hawk and I both shoved at the same time.
We're paying $15 a month. No, I've never subscribed to OnlyFans because I don't have any money.
What about when you search
I can go find the leaked ones.
And they didn't have them and you're really interested?
I still wouldn't
You don't take a stab?
No. Like I found a girl yesterday that...
Oh, God.
Describe her.
Well, it's weird because I watch... when I play Golf Rival, I have to watch these videos to get free stuff. You have to watch a 30-second video. And there's this one that comes on. It's on TV too, on YouTube a lot of the times. It's these two people talking about how you can buy your cars online and you can set your own price, down payment, and that. And she's very cute. And I said, "I wonder
Are you talking about the girl that get me in the car again? Is that what you're talking about?
Get me in the car."
Yeah, you were talking about her last time. How she got an Instagram. It says, "Catch me in the car" or something.
No.
Cash Me Outside.
No, she's got an OnlyFans account. She does get naked in hers. But this girl, just like I found the girl who did the Slash commercial. Stop.
Oh, no.
You're in. And I follow her now. She does these eating things where she goes and eats at different places. But I looked up this girl who's in this commercial, and sure enough, she's been in like 4 movies, and she's been naked in 3 of them. So not only am I watching her doing just a regular car commercial, now I've seen her boobs. So you can go check these girls out before you go spending your money.
You've had a big day for yourself, haven't you?
I accomplished something.
Last thing I'll say, and then I'll jump off. Iggy, what's the shortest video that you think you've masturbated to?
Okay. All right, watch it.
30 seconds? Is it a minute? What's the sweet spot for a porno for you?
No.
I'll hang up and listen.
Oh,
Thanks, guys.
Gosh, you're
Thanks,
creepy.
No.
Doug, that was Juan Pablo's pool boy.
Gosh, he's a weasel.
No, it's
Don't you feel like you need a shower after just listening to him talk?
Yeah, it was kind of a filthy call.
Yeah.
I like to make it last. I don't...
Well, we don't really need to know. We don't.
Oh, you like to edge yourself?
I was about to say, it's edge season.
Yeah, kind of.
That's hot.
Sometimes I just like to make a day of it.
Oh,
just kind of sal in with a cup
Doug,
of coffee.
I felt like bile emerge from my...
too.
Make a cup of coffee and just almost now stop and just go watch another one.
Gosh. You can't let Timmy the Tickler take us straight to the gutter. You can't allow that. Jackson, why do you answer these calls?
I can't win.
You let him through.
Yeah, damn right. He said he was Juan Pablo's pool boy.
Oh.
I don't know. He changes his voice.
Stephen Wildwood says no. That's
Right.
Chairman Steve in
I
Wildwood.
feel like we need to get out the Clorox bleach for the whole studio after that guy calls.
I thought it was pretty solid.
Oh.
I could use a mic sock. I haven't had a mic sock in weeks.
I got you. I'll be in 2
Do you?
seconds.
Thank you.
Oh, wow, look
I
at
couldn't
that.
find it. Rutledge said he was going to have a box of them in here, and he never dropped them off.
Oh, I just
He's
found
been
one.
very busy with
Yeah.
other
Yeah, but that
things.
thing's probably used.
I don't think so. Boy, I got one. Boy, I'm glad to have this.
Yeah, I got my initials on this
Look at
one.
me. Okay, I got my mic
That's
sock
a good
now.
idea to put your initials on, then nobody will use
Yeah,
it.
Mike Ryder told us to do that because people actually will
Yeah,
swipe
welcome.
them.
Thanks, buddy.
There's your mic sock, bro. Iggy sounds so proud of himself for seeing the boobs of a girl in a commercial, and then he's frustrated people call him a creep. That's Brad, and he's in Boca.
Well,
it's not creepy. You going to tell me you never watch porn, buddy?
Well, Brad, it's your chance to call in.
You know you have, so isn't that creepy that you watch it?
I think it's the bragging about it.
I'm not bragging about it. I just said it was kind of, I thought she was attractive, but she's just doing commercials. But then to see her in a movie topless is kind of a rewarding day.
A rewarding day. That's all it takes.
I accomplished something.
A rewarding day.
Yeah, I found it, then I made a pineapple upside down cake.
Because you were ready to swing.
Iggy, how's Crystal Martin? We going to bring back that whole deal. That's from Carlos Spicy Wiener.
We can bring it back. I showed her a picture of her to Tim yesterday, and then the text inbox went crazy. And I'm sure there's about 50 of you that asked for friend requests from her or followed her because she's full of friends. She doesn't have enough. She's at 5,000. She can't accept anymore.
She's
very open with my sexuality.
Oh, okay.
It's Weezer. Yep, that is. EDF Group, sponsor of our text inbox. Very active this morning, and we're only at 7:23 here in this Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. Do you want to support the sponsors? Well, EDF is the sponsor of the text inbox, and it's real simple. Here's how you can support them. Do you have a fire extinguisher where you work? The answer is yes. You certainly do. So please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hot and will prevent your facility from having hot fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at the edfgroup.com. Sponsor of the text inbox, sponsor of the 7 o'clock hour, is Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. I was talking to the great Jamie Burkhardt yesterday.
Oh, were you really?
Man, I'm a fan. But you know what I am? I've decided a Jamie Burkhardt lemming. I'm a Courtney Landrum lemming. I always tell Jackson that. And I'm a Jamie Burkhardt lemming.
He's a fantastic gentleman.
He really is. He's good people. And he loves this show, and he loves this audience. And God bless the audience, because the audience supports the sponsors. StLouisAcura.com and AltonToyota.com is where you can go shopping. And if you need to get your car serviced, even if you didn't get your car from Munganess, get it serviced at Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota. I realize there's a bunch of Munganess all over the place. Here are the two dealerships that sponsor this show. And remember this. St. Louis Acura on Manchester. Would you say that's Baldwin? Is it the pair?
We've struggled with this. I know just on the other side of the street, I believe it's Town and Country.
Is that right?
But I think someone said it's Baldwin. Doesn't feel like Baldwin.
I don't think so. Baldwin is like where...
Doesn't feel like Baldwin.
It's like where West County Lanes is, right before Ellisville. It's not that far out there.
Well, either way, StLouisAcura.com, and then Alton Toyota, which we believe is Alton. That's
that much we know.
Yeah, we feel like we locked that one in. It's Munganess, StLouisAcura.com and AltonToyota.com. Get your car serviced there. Get your new cars there. Get your pre-owned cars there. Support the sponsors. That's the name of the deal. With Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, and Peter Munganess. Doug, did you watch the Doggies last night?
No.
Defense, Doggies, defense. I'm wearing the shirt, defense, Doggies, defense.
Wasn't much to watch, was there?
It was terrible. It really was.
Terrible game?
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure, hashtag soccer guy might get mad that I said that. Well, here's the reason. Producer Joe texted me to take the over on the Doggies total of 1.5. Well, I texted him, in fairness, to say, what's the play tonight? And he said that. So then I put a large taste.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
On that. But either way, even without that being in play, and Taylor Twellman was saying this on the broadcast, too. He goes, these are two teams that just didn't bring their best tonight, weren't able to finish. Some handballs that were overturned, or one that was overturned by VAR, and then I think 3 others that could have been called that weren't. Just for a game that was considered the most important in the Western Conference, the biggest game for City to that point. But because of results elsewhere, with Minnesota losing, the Doggies are in to the playoffs.
Well, that's good.
Listen to Jackson.
We did it.
Defense, Doggies, defense. Defense, Doggies, defense.
Yeah, look at my T-shirt. Look at me. See?
I like offense, Doggies, offense.
It's available at TMASTLshop.com. 10% off when you check out. Now, you can get this in a hoodie, or you can get it in a T-shirt, just like the one I'm wearing. And don't I look like a boy slate?
Has the Doggies thing taken off at all?
No, there was a concerted effort by the organization to try to snuff it out.
Oh, really?
Yep. They were very concerned about the surging popularity, and I believe that's how the Hellcats thing.
Anti-fun league? I mean, that Doggies, it's a fun thing.
It is. Sponsored by Purina, no less. I don't know why
it was affiliated with our show. And our
That's all
show
it
is. This is
nasty.
Consider
the last caller we just had.
Got a good recommendation on Pornhub? OnlyFans? A commercial? Hell, I don't know.
News you can use.
Yeah, that was news you can use.
It wasn't.
I enjoyed watching the Dogs throughout the summer, but switching over to it after a full day of college football last Saturday reminded me how boring it is. And I hate to say that. That's from Mudjack Mike.
Okay, Mike.
It's the MLS. It's always terrible, Tim. That's from Maxwell Hung.
There were a grand total of 6 shots on goal last night. St. Louis had 4 of them.
See, like, they got to change soccer. And I know it's been
here we
around
go.
for a long time. No,
Yeah.
it just...
I'm with you.
In terms of Americanized soccer, like, European, I mean, people that are grown up with this sport and, you know, generations of watching it, I understand that you like all the aspects of it. For casual fans trying to get into it, there's too many players. The subbing is a joke. Nobody knows how much time is left until the game ends. Like, those 3 things need to be fixed almost immediately for me to even consider being a huge Rabid fan. Because every time I watch it, I'm anticipating something and nothing happens.
I've really enjoyed watching a number of their games, and this one was the first one that I went into with like a lot of. I mean, this was the game for those who were following the team. That this had been circled for a while, considering the Western Conference, which they very well could win. They are in a spot where they are ahead now. They have clinched it. They needed a draw last night at a minimum with LAFC, the team that's chasing them. And Doug, as you say, the LAFC has a game in hand. And the game just didn't live up to it, so that's where I'm coming from. But I've enjoyed plenty of their games. The atmosphere at that place is phenomenal.
I've always thought they need to get rid of that darn offsides rule that paralyzes the game. Paralyzes it. How many goals are called back because somebody was 2 inches
Well, then
behind a defender?
Think
Man,
about-
it makes no
They're like
sense.
cherry pickers.
Think about how
Well,
great
so
the game.
what?
What about how great the game would be if they, like the NBA, they called flopping? Like that. That's something that also needs to be addressed as well. It's just not it, man.
We don't need to change soccer.
Yeah,
it's not
this-
for everyone. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Simple. That's from the total package.
But that's
Look,
what's
this is
happening
the-
to a lot of people. They don't like it because of that, so they don't watch it like they do.
Yeah,
other
like
sports.
if you're trying to get casual fans and to make it more popular, then you should care about that because nobody cares about the nuances and, you know, oh, they did this back in 1858. No one cares. We're just trying to enjoy ourselves with how much entertainment is on television. It's really hard to watch a full soccer game at its current state.
Free substitution would be nice. That would help the game.
Absolutely, man.
The one thing I do worry about is that you knew they would do well the first year because it's new and, you know, the atmosphere is great. That stadium is great.
Nobody was picking the team to be in the playoffs or number
No, but
one. Doug, what do you call top of the table?
I never say that.
No, but I also said I think even if they don't play well the first year, it'll still sell out every game because it's an atmosphere. But 2 years, 3 years down the road, you know, when the kind of newness is worn off and they're maybe a halfway decent team, are people still going to sell out because they really don't care for soccer? They're going for the atmosphere. And once you
we'll
you
see.
experience that for a while, it's like, been there, done that.
This is kind of similar to what happened when the Blues were new. They were good instantly. They became a thing in St. Louis, regularly sold out the arena. And then over time, some of that wears off. If the team is good, they're still wildly popular. And if they're not very good, they're not that popular. I suspect it might be that kind of situation.
Yeah, and this is going to what Plowsy was talking about and you, to extent with the offside and all that, is that people will realize that, you know, they really don't care about soccer. I only went because it was fun to be there and the 20,000 people, great atmosphere, but I really don't like soccer. It's boring.
Jesus, I'm going to rip my hair out. That's from Brian Henshin. Doug, I don't know if something just happened with the Colts quarterback situation
No,
or what,
could well
but
have
something
been.
has set him off.
Yeah.
You don't want us to talk soccer?
He's probably a soccer purist. They get highly upset if you question any of the rules. But the rules in other sports change regularly. I mean, major rule changes in other sports. 3-point shots in basketball, look what that did. Shot clocks.
Yeah, to say we can't do. Look at what baseball has just done with the pitch clock, and look at how much better the game is. Look at the viewership. All the ratings are up, and game time is down by 10 or 15 minutes. It helped. Just stop with this, oh, it's been like this forever. Well, that's a problem. I cannot stand how many players are on the field and how you basically can't get in the box unless 3 defenders are around you, and it's pointless.
Yeah.
I want a 4-2 game every game. 0-0,
that.
get me out of that. Ugh.
Brian Henshin says he's angry because Ken happened.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
We should start soliciting complaints about the NFL from European fans and see how we can change the game to better suit these casual losers. That's from Jenny, and then her last name is Talia.
Well, we're not in Europe. We're here, and our tastes are different.
Even the Cardinals' attendance declines when the team isn't good. This isn't unique to soccer or hockey. I believe that's caller Ellen talking
like
to
this
Iggy
one.
about...
Hey, morons, believe it or not, there are thousands of soccer fans. Dude, that's the problem. You need to have millions and millions and millions and millions.
But there are millions of soccer fans.
I think I don't see it growing as rapidly as it was supposed to when I was 8 years old, and that's all I heard.
It might help us.
It could be the big sport. I just don't. It's not it. Unless you're getting 50 Messis in here, it's going to be just that sport that people go to socialize for.
As casual fans, it might help us once we learn the players a little bit. Because when you have a whole team full of players that none of us in here knew anything at all about any of these guys, I don't think. It helps after they've been around a while. You get to know them, start to root for the individuals, and know their history a little bit. That always helps.
Bro, so this is what we're talking about? Guess I need to send in pictures of my wife to get us back on topic. That's from Shrimply Pibbles.
Come on, Pibbles.
What's back on topic? What was the topic before this?
I guess his wife.
Me watching porn?
Yeah, this is probably a better topic than that.
I would agree.
Soccer in America is trending to be more popular than the NHL soon. It took over take MLB2. Took over take MLB2.
I don't know.
It will never surpass the NHL. Not in my lifetime.
There's a
Not
lot
saying ever, but in my lifetime, it will never pass.
There's a lot of MLS teams playing in front of very small crowds.
Again, we're looking at this from our perspective. You got to, we're talking about the Battlehawks, and we think the XFL is successful, but if you look on the outside, it's averaging like 11,000 fans. I don't know the number for soccer, but we support teams here, but that doesn't mean that's everybody. I don't know. I just don't see it ever passing hockey.
Nothing amuses me more than Plowsy versus Soccer Guy. I called this rivalry 3 furloughs ago. It's approaching the Iron Bowl in terms of rivalries. That's from Al, and he's in Dadeville.
Sure is.
Well, they're just pretentious. I'm sorry.
They're a little stubborn,
They're
too.
it's like Mosaics running around there, man. It's just a bunch of little Moes.
On the subject of rule
Nose
changes,
in the air. I know about soccer. I just learned offsides the other day, so I'm going to talk down to these little peasants.
Oh,
Give me a break.
No, it's just
I'm
it's,
back,
it's a
bitches.
lot of people that just like the bourbon guys. A lot of people think it's cool to say I like soccer, and it's nuanced.
Boy, I just brought up a 0-0 draw, Doug. Should I say 0-0? And all hell
no,
broke
don't
loose.
say that either.
And I'm happy about losing money. And I didn't think the game was that great for what it was built up to. And all of a sudden, all hell's broken loose.
We got any Zamboni calls? Oh, they didn't score. That's right.
Well, someone said in the text line it's already past hockey. It is not. Hockey has players making $10 million, $11 million a year. You're looking at the annual revenue. It's close-ish, but I don't think it's ever going to pass. I think hockey become more popular. Look at the salaries from the last 10 years to now. Like, I think, if anything, NHL is growing just as rapidly as the MLS. So I don't see the MLS catching up to that. It's only going to be the fourth sport, which is fine. But unless you make some rule changes, unless you want to open up some pocketbook too and pay some really good players, it's going to be like that. We're not in it for the pageantry. We're in it for, like, the entertainment value of it.
What fourth sport?
What'd you say?
What was that?
You said it'll always be the fourth sport.
Yeah, like the fourth most popular.
It's ahead of NHL, baseball, basketball, and football.
No, it's behind those. That's why it's the.
So it would be the fifth sport.
No, football, baseball, basketball. Yeah, it would be the fifth. Yeah, sorry.
I just thought you had it one in front of one of those other ones.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about rule changes. Don't you think most people are very happy with the rule changes in baseball, the recent ones?
That's what I was just saying. Yeah.
Does anybody miss seeing the pitchers hit? I mean, we worried for years about putting the designated hitter in the National League, and now that it's here, it seems like everybody's kind of on board with it. And
As a
likes
baseball nerd, I like the strategy involved with the pitcher spot personally, but I also recognize that 95% of the population at a minimum couldn't care any less about that element of the
it.
game.
Yeah, I think they'd rather see another big hitter in there.
But what does that
Tell you
say
more
about
action.
baseball that they put a man on second base in the extra innings? They're basically telling you people don't like our sport because it's too long.
Yeah.
What does that say about your sport, that you don't want it to be that long because it's boring?
Yeah, people don't like extra innings. Extra inning games come on and the stadium empties out. You use up your pitching staff. Some of these games last 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, people don't like
I
that.
don't understand why if you're a baseball fan and you're there, it's exciting. Extra innings, okay.
It's not that
I want to
exciting.
get out of here. Well, then.
But reality
But
tells
if
you
you're
people
changing
don't.
your sport to make it quicker because people don't want to sit there and watch it.
Well, they've changed lots of sports to speed it up a little bit.
Sure, it
They-
worked
they-
because it's shorter, but
They sped up hockey.
I
They
don't
sped
think
up.
they're drawing any more fans to ratings as far as watching it.
I'm a starter at heart.
I don't know. All you got to do is look around at the stadiums when a game is in the 14th or 15th inning, and you see how much people like
Well, that's a little
extra
different.
innings.
15 innings. I mean, most,
All right, 13, 12.
people got to get their kids
There's a lot of people going home in the 7th inning now.
Oh, that's always my go-to. Are you kidding me?
Wow, got him, Ken. Good work. You've earned an extended smoke break. Why don't you bop down the hallway until emails? That's from Brian Henshin. Who's
what the hell is wrong with you?
Come on, let
Did
him
you
have
know
it. Let him have it.
Obviously, you're trying to do that.
What did I just pointed out something that I'm sure I'm right about as far as the ratings aren't.
He's pulling his hair out there in Indy.
You don't have any hair. I've seen pictures of you.
He's got pretty thick hair, I think.
Yeah,
I thought it
Gina.
was kind of short.
Hair shaming.
If the ratings have gone up this year with the shorter games, fine. Prove me wrong.
Caller Ellen is not happy with the discussion, I don't think, Doug. She is on hold and she wants to talk it over.
no.
The number is 636-9004 TMA. Good morning,
She's
Caller
on.
Ellen.
Morning, gentlemen. How are things?
Oh, we're
Things
fine.
are really
Fine.
good. Feel good about the show. Excited about our closet. We can hear gentlemen urinating.
Wow. I think I saw the first studio, and it seemed perfectly lovely to me. I don't quite understand the, quote, upgrade. But anyway, so, fellas, why are we dumping on the one really positive thing that is happening in St. Louis right now?
I can't disagree with Ellen's take here.
Seriously.
We're not dumping on the thing. We think there should be some changes to the sport.
You are, Doug. By
I'd like to
extension,
withdraw.
you
I am
are.
excited about it. I believe Iggy, Plowhawk, and Doug Jackson has not really said anything. He's watching Dennis Gates movies.
No,
I'm on board with
I
soccer.
absolve you, Tim, and not because you're Tim, but I don't absolve you because I know. No. I'm absolving him because, in my opinion, he's been on sort of the right side of the soccer conversation. And I don't care about rule changes, and I don't care about any of that. Carolyn Kendall Betts and the Taylor family have poured billions of dollars into something and have given our city a positive thing to root for. And you guys are just bitching about nothing.
About the rules.
Just get over it.
So
Well, we'd like to see some changes.
Tim's on the right side because he agrees with you that it's.
No, Tim's on the right side because it's not a dump festival like you guys do on everything, which typically is kind of funny. But, I mean, this city is in a world of hurt. We've got one good thing going on here right now. And you guys, yeah, fine, talk about the rule changes, but it's all just so damn negative. And I know it's kind of your brand, but it just...
Doug, is our brand negative?
I don't know.
But Elsie, and I will agree with you, but I'll also counter that with, like, when we and Doug just talked about rule changes, that's how it started the conversation. You used to see the text line of soccer people saying it's more popular than the NHL. Like, I think soccer guy, I guess that's a general term. I apologize. I know you're a woman, but
It doesn't bother me. That kind of stuff doesn't bother
okay,
me.
but like soccer guy needs to kind of rein it in a little bit as well, because I think they're looking at this as if it's the next St. Louis Rams dynasty, and it's soccer, and it's hard for average fans like myself, Doug, and Iggy to fully get on board and think that the MLS isn't going to pass hockey in 5 years. So, like, I think they're unrealistic expectations from soccer guy that I think may annoy the casual fan. So we were originally just talking about rule changes, but when you talk about even anything remotely negative or something that needs to change with soccer guy comes out with the pitchfork mafias, and I think that's why we kind of added on. That's why I at least added on a little more to try to rile them up.
Well, you
That's
did
my
a good
defense.
job because I am not even a casual fan. I'm just a fan of a dying city, and we've got one really good, new, clean, squeaky, positive thing. And can we just enjoy, like, year one and, oh, wow, they're new and they're actually in the playoffs, and isn't that great? And can we just do that for, like, 1 year?
Well, we've done that most of the year.
Drama, Doug.
We've done that most of the year. We've been nothing but positive about the team for almost the whole year. But when we talk about soccer in general as a sport, there's some changes we would like to see, just like we like to see changes in every sport. And we have seen changes in other sports.
And Ellen, you said it.
It's fine to sort of confine it to that, and I don't disagree with you. I mean, I understand the thing about the free substitution and all that, and I get it. I understand there's soccer guy going back to caveman days and blah blah blah. And I'm like you. We're not in Europe. We're in America. Fine, but there's just a tone, and there's just a way that is such a dump festival that. I'm being really honest right now. It's exhausting.
No.
And it's
That's our show in general. You ought to have to work here.
So Ellen, let me ask you
Your
this.
T-shirt.
Yeah,
Ellen, let me ask you this, because you said it yourself. The only thing I brought up was I said, I'm kind of worried because now it's new and it's kind of like a scene. People want to go there, the atmosphere. But, a year or two from now, if they're not very good, what's going to happen? And you even said, it's like everything else. If they're not bad, people aren't going to go. So can we dump on it then when people don't go?
Yes.
All right. Well, so it's not just dumping on it. It's just dumping on it when they're bad, we can dump on them.
It's because somebody has invested a ton of their time, energy, life, and fortune into trying to bring something good to this city. And we can't even get through 1 year when a team has made the playoffs, which from what I understand is hard to do. And we just can't for 5 seconds be like, yeah, so it was a 0-0 game or whatever, however you say it, and, but it's important that they're there. And every once in a while, it's okay not to be cynical. And it's okay to celebrate something.
I don't think any of us said we hope they fail.
It's not perfect.
I don't think any of us said we hope they fail. We wish they wouldn't have brought this thing here. What are you doing wasting your money? I don't think any of us wanted to fail.
I know, Iggy, but there's a tone and there's a way of doing things and there's a way of saying things and there's a way of presenting things, which, honestly, that's the joy of this show is that it is a little bit of, train wreck radio. And
Doug.
Gosh, she says we're exhausting and we're a train wreck. She's raking us over the coals.
I am raking you over the coals, Doug. I mean, it's just really just got to me today because I really, as one who lives in the city and who has experienced her share of ups and downs and trying to hang in there with this city, and it's getting harder every day, it's frustrating. And I'm also I don't know Carolyn Kindle. She wouldn't know me. I wouldn't know her. I admire the hell out of her. And
like a lot of people do.
Be kind for 10 minutes or be kind until they exit the playoffs. Then you can talk about, well, we would have done this or we would have done that or this is how you do this, even though you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, Ellen!
All right. 0-0, 6 shots on goal. God, what an exciting game.
Did you watch it?
No.
See, there you go. I mean, there you go. You just can't control yourself, but we've known that for a long time.
Oh, gosh!
I guess lunch is out.
All right. Well, I'm going to take the, skewering from the text
I got to
line
tell
and
you,
offer
you are getting Ellen. Before you go, you are being nominated. Plowhawk, are you in there right now? Or are you dealing with the computer system?
Oh yeah, they love Ellen, but they also hate me and Iggy.
No. There are plenty of people who are, of course,
Well,
not a fan of Ellen. But you are getting a number of texts.
I would say yes.
I would say it's probably about 50-50, but you're getting a number of texts from people saying you should be the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month.
There's several of those.
Yeah.
I think 10 of those.
Yeah, you go off on me and you go off on me and Plowsy, and they're going to love you.
I'll let somebody else have that honor. But,
You do not. It sounds like, Doug, she is.
That's
There's also
one of the only good things we got going in this city.
There's also a lot
of
get back to the kitchen, extreme couponer, things like that. So I would say it's 50-50.
I know. I love to get back to the kitchen, you guys, because, it's really funny. Like, my entire life I subsist on, the Schnucks Deli. I mean, that's really how I, stay alive.
Oh, I didn't know
that. I can make a sandwich if forced, but that's about the extent of my culinary skills. So I'm, sorry to disappoint, but we can keep up the roots if you want to. That's fine.
Well, there it is. Doug is
call.
withdrawing from the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month competition for September. That is unprecedented.
Yeah.
Caller Ellen, thank you so much for the call.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot.
There she is.
All
Doug.
right,
That's Caller
Elsie.
Ellen.
She killed it.
Girl, you be killing them. Uh-oh, you did not think so.
But I also...
Well, I kind of disagree because, I mean, we're breaking down a game from last night, and Doug's just talking about rule changes to make it more fun to watch soccer. Plowsy doing the same thing. So what? We're not killing the team saying, I hope they get out of here. I hope they move. Who cares about soccer? We love what Carolyn Kindle and the group has done to bring that here. And it's a great stadium. People are going. It's not going to save the city, this dumpster fire. Hey, we got soccer. We're going to stop murdering people. Hey, there's a soccer team down there. Don't break into that car.
And I'm not
That's
bashing.
Not what she was saying.
I'm not bashing the
She
Taylors.
said the city is in terrible shape, and at least we got something good going on, and we're poo-pooing it.
Well, the MLS team.
That's a fair point, is it not? She's not saying it's going to stop murders, but she's saying it's a good thing, it's a positive thing.
Well, it is. It's not. It's not the reason the city's going to survive.
But I don't think she was trying to make that point.
Well, that's how I taught it. But anyway, I don't think any of us were saying this team sucks. We hope they lose, go away. We broke down a game that had no goals and 6 shots on goal. That's all we said. And then we talked about rule changes. I don't think we're trashing the team.
I think both points are very fair.
I just have a huge issue with Soccer Guy. That's my whole thing. Like, they've made it impossible to be a casual fan because they just talk down to you if you don't know what you're talking about. Or if you want to make a rule change, it sounds like you're trying to ruin 150 years of history when you're really just trying to make it more entertaining.
Here, I'll make a concession on the rule change.
Jackson is making concession. Down
I'll
here
try
at,
to. I'm gonna try-
7:48 in the
I'm gonna
Morgan
try-
S. St. Louis Acura and Toyota 7 o'clock hour.
I'm going to try to unite the groups here.
Oh,
you can't get rid of offside. That would fundamentally change the sport. What you can
It
do...
wouldn't.
It would absolutely, because you just cherry pick it and it would be 40-40.
No, if you just once the ball crosses the center line, then there's no offsides.
Okay, so here's my concession, Doug, is you take away the VAR, which can pull away a goal for offsides, which is like a toenail over, because that's not the spirit of the rule. It has to be called on the field. If they see it on the field, they can call offside, but they can't go back with the video replay.
No, but
that would be a fair concession.
But then you've got all the people arguing that the ref costs us the game, and
yeah, but that
they
happens in
didn't
every
call
sport.
It right.
They call it. That's
Well,
every sport.
most sports now they have replays to fix bad calls.
Right. So it's a catch-22. You can't have it both ways.
We can't have it both ways. There's no offsides once the ball crosses the center line. There, end of story.
That would be like taking away offsides in football. Like you just
No, it
can't.
wouldn't.
You just
It
can't
wouldn't.
do that.
You got
just
so many
cherry pick.
players. No, when the defensive players can hang back, it would open up the whole field. Instead of mob ball, there it opens up the whole field.
Agree to disagree. I thought my concession was fair, but
I'm not accepting it.
all right, fair enough.
I'd like to go back and see how many things would have changed if we had replays like saying starting in the 70s. Now, the Cardinals would have 12 World Series championships if it was replay.
Yeah.
How many other football, basketball, other things that would have
Bad
changed
calls that
would have
changed.
changed outcomes if there would have been video replays started, say, in the 70s?
I don't know. Probably some hockey goals that should have been or should not have been.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to look that up and see how many things would have changed.
Holes, skate in the crease.
Are there guys who kick with both legs?
Yes, there absolutely are.
There's a soccer fan.
I don't know how many championships would have been changed. I can't think of any others at the moment.
I can't either. That's because it's a hometown thing, but I'm just curious how many different things would have changed.
Probably some others. Yeah.
Iggy said they will struggle to sell tickets in 2 years. That's negative. Doug, that's Brad, and he's in Boca.
Well, Brad, I actually asked a question. I didn't say they would. I said, I worry a little bit if a couple years from now, if they're not playing very well and they're not very good, will people still come out? I didn't say they wouldn't. I'm asking the question. Maybe they will still get 20,000 2 years from now if they're not very good, because people just love going there. I don't know.
I think that's the case, actually. I think that they still will. I didn't. My belief that this was going to be an incredibly youthful, energetic atmosphere, unlike the Blues and Cardinals, for the most part, had nothing to do with thinking they'd be good. Hell, I didn't know. I don't know if I could have named 5 players on the team when they started back in March. But I think it's more about an event, which is drawing a parallel to something that I do love and have loved almost all of my life, Missouri football. That's what college football is for a lot of fan bases. You're not necessarily going because the team is great or going to, knock off Alabama or Georgia in the college football playoff. You're going because it's an event and you just love the energy and the atmosphere surrounding it. I don't think people at Ole Miss have thought they're going to compete for a national championship when the Grove is packed every Saturday during the fall. So I think that's what's going on parallel to what's going on with the Doggies.
Well, that was my question. And those are college football fans that live in that city. How many of these people are actually soccer fans? That was my question.
All of them. They're huge soccer fans.
You think?
Yes, absolutely.
I would disagree.
You think the people going to the Dogs games are not soccer fans?
Not all of them.
I mean, not everybody going to an Ole Miss game. I mean, if we're going to use semantics, I'll jerk you off. But, but I mean, as far as like 90%, yeah, they're soccer fans. Yeah, and they're passionate about the game. And so the fact that the team is good is wonderful, but they're excited to have an MLS team and don't care necessarily if other people are into it. They like it, But like, I'm not upset that some TMA listeners or 101 listeners aren't into Missouri football. It impacts my interest in games zero. Most people don't follow golf like I do. It impacts my interest in it zero. I just don't talk about it as much because I know most people aren't into it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we don't talk about the Dogs too much on this show, relatively speaking.
Hardly ever, actually.
And I talk about it on 101, really, for the most part, only when Twellman's on. Because why? There just isn't, at the moment, that crossover appeal like the Blues and the Cardinals have. And back in the day, the Rams had. So, I mean, that's part of your job as a host, is to give the people what they want. But as far as the people who are going to that building, they love the game of soccer, and or they have become a bigger fan because when they go, it's an energetic atmosphere, and you don't have somebody yelling at them for the most part to sit down. And so that's what they like. They like the pageantry of the game, kind of like college football.
Okay. I can only take what people have told me, what I see. A lot of people have said, God, I don't even like soccer. I don't know nothing about soccer, but God, this atmosphere is so much fun being in here. I don't know how many of those people are. It's not the majority. I'm sure the majority of the people that go love soccer, but I guarantee there's a lot of people that go just for the pageantry and the stadium and the atmosphere, and they know nothing about soccer.
It happens in other sports.
That's a good thing.
There's a certain amount of Cardinal fans who aren't that interested in baseball that just go to be outside and have something to do at night. And
drink during the summer.
Socialize a little bit, Same with the Blues. You can not be much of a hockey fan and have a good time at a Blues game.
Yeah, and those are the 40,000 that show up every night. And now that they're not winning, that's why you got 15,000 in the stadium.
They care, Tim, at least some of them. If you don't like the Doggies or MLS, some of these losers will vilify you and makes me hate them in some of the league. That's from Maxwell Hunk. But that's the equivalent of finding like one tweet and then retweeting it to hold up as an example to represent all soccer fans when it's just a sliver of the population. We can do that with take your pick of whatever topic, and that's kind of the media business model right now, is take up a tweet and have it represent the side that you don't like, and then that side has to quote-unquote own it. And that's not necessarily representative of a lot of people who are going to Dogs games or going to Missouri games or going to Illinois games. That's an extreme, it's like taking like the handful of listeners that cause problems for us and go, well, TMA listeners suck. It's just not, it's a 0.1% of the population. So I think for most people who are going there, they're big soccer fans. And again, not everybody. And they love the atmosphere that is created by having more of a youthful, energetic sports facility than what Busch Stadium is and what Enterprise Center is for most of the regular season games. And that's a great thing. It's a great thing to have young people representing in St. Louis, a city that is old and staid and provincial.
Well, let me ask you this, and you probably can't answer it, because I don't think anybody can answer it, but I'll ask the question anyway. After the women won the World Cup, and I don't remember.
Doug, 1999, Brandy Chastain.
Yeah.
But they started a women's soccer league. And at the time, I think the women's soccer was more popular than the men's soccer because of the World Cup.
Like in what way?
Well, I think more people were interested in it, more people were watching it on TV because, nobody even knew what the men, they sucked, and the women were great.
It was a World Cup.
Yeah, but then they started
so you can't draw parallels. I mean, World Cup, men's World Cup versus women's World Cup.
Well, that's all you can compare because there wasn't a women's...
But there wasn't a comparison.
There wasn't a women's league. They started a women's league, and St. Louis got one of them. And then we have, what's her name as the goaltender for that league?
Hope Solo.
Yeah. They had to fold because nobody was going.
Okay.
Well, why not?
Well, I mean, that was like 9 years later.
But the women's soccer was still popular then.
I mean, to an extent, I don't know. Nobody never said a women's professional league would kill it. I don't know. I mean, there was a women's World Cup, and that was exciting. I don't understand what your point is.
My question is, okay, people are 20,000 because they like soccer. They could, even if you like soccer, you didn't know 90% of the people on this team. But there were names you knew on the women's team, but nobody would go. That's why it folded. Why is it? If they like soccer, why wouldn't they go see that?
I just don't see the parallel at all. I mean, I like soccer, so should I go watch St. Gabriel's play at Francis Park? I don't understand.
Well, you can't compare St. Gabriel's to
you can't compare
women's soccer that had a Olympic and World Cup
it was
person on the
9
team.
years after the fact when St. Louis got that team with Hope Solo. So the momentum was based on the 1999 World Cup, which was played in the United States, and the United States won a thrilling game in penalty kicks.
Didn't they just win the Olympics, though? Before the league started?
But you didn't ask about the Olympics. You asked about
I
the
said World Cup and Olympics.
The 1999 is what is still held in high esteem, but that doesn't mean that there's all of a sudden going to be... Mary Lou Retton got a lot of people excited about gymnastics in 1984, but they didn't sprout a bunch of gymnastics teams.
She was a little spitfire.
She was, and she had a wonderful... was that on the pole? No, it's not the pole vault. The vault?
Pommel horse?
I don't think it's a pommel horse either. Well, she got a 10 under pressure, and that was fun.
Mm-hmm. Someone described her as Pete Rose in tights.
She was on the Wheaties box, but that doesn't sprout up leagues. I'm trying to follow what you're trying.
Well, if you're a soccer fan and you know who Hope Solo was, and you know who a couple of the other players in that team were, they were part of the Olympic team that had won the gold medal, you're drawing 20,000 to this new team where you don't even know any of the players.
Well, Hope Solo wasn't on the 99 team.
I'm talking about the women's team. And I think they just won the gold medal.
But that didn't have near the excitement about the 1999 World Cup team. The 1999 World Cup was played at the Rose Bowl. It went to PKs, and it was a signature moment in women's sports in the United States. But that doesn't mean that then all of a sudden people are going to want to watch a women's professional sports league.
All right. Well, maybe women's soccer is different than men's soccer if you're a soccer fan.
Yes. That's not necessarily a scalding take.
No. If you're a soccer fan, I just think you like soccer.
Right, but you're saying you can't draw parallels to if you like soccer going to a grade school game. You also can't draw soccer because some people are going to be more into men's soccer. Some people don't recognize the MLS because it's not the same caliber of like EPL.
All right, so they're men's soccer fans, not soccer fans.
They're fans of the atmosphere along with the game and the excitement of now having an MLS franchise in St. Louis. There's not a lot of excitement about whatever that league was. The NWSL, I believe, is what it's called.
All right. I was just asking if you're a soccer fan.
I know a lot about Pennsylvania.
That was
and
new.
It's great.
We never had a soccer team here, and you got a women's soccer team.
It's not the same thing.
All right. I didn't know there was a difference between soccer played by women who have won Olympic medals and a soccer team of men you never heard of.
Do you think there'd be a lot of excitement if St. Louis got an NBA team or a WNBA team? Do you think there would be a difference?
And here he is,
There's a difference.
having the time of his life.
Doug said it.
If you really love basketball, you go watch it.
I respect that you'll go down with the ship.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, I know what I lose. I'm not going to stop.
Men's sports just draw more attention than women's sports.
Yeah.
They just do. In this country, they just do.
But I just don't get then why when there's an Olympic or a World Cup, the women's ratings are higher than watching the men play.
I don't know if they are. They were certainly higher than they used to be. They
For the 99
spectacularly
one, because
popular
it was
there
in the
for a
United
while.
States, and it'll be the same way when the World Cup comes to the United States, even if the men's team isn't great. But that was the perfect storm, the 99 team.
The women use that as their.
Don't they win every year, though?
They use that as their case to get equal pay from the men.
Yeah, don't they win every Olympic and every World Cup?
Well, they didn't last.
No,
they were on the
not
pace
everyone.
to have a three-peat, but lost this year.
Yeah.
I think the World Cup could do a lot of good for soccer. But I don't know how quickly. Kids know about soccer. I don't think having the World Cup here ain't gonna have people.
No. I disagree.
I think there ain't going to be a
was that?
contingent of people. What the World Cup will do in terms. I saw some text about what the World Cup in the United States is going to do for soccer in the U.S. and the growth of it. And I don't know if I understand it. Maybe. I mean, people know about soccer already, though.
Right, but having it happen in your backyard, the World Cup, which is
I would agree.
almost unmatched in terms of sporting events.
I would have agreed back in the 80s and not when you don't have television. I mean,
Sure,
you
hear
can
what
watch
you're saying.
every MLS,
Right.
Bundesliga. I mean, you can watch 50 soccer games a day on television if you want.
It's just
So
different in America. I think it'll be different.
It
But
could-
you could be right.
It'll help short term. Whether that carries over
That's what I'm saying
over
about
the
the
years
long
remains to be
term,
seen.
What that gets.
Well, we heard about that in '94 with the men's game when it was in the U.S. did it have an impact? I suppose it did, but not to the level of becoming more popular than the four already, established American/North American sports. And there was an impact in '99, but it didn't necessarily make the women's game. But those ladies are still talked about in high esteem, to the point that actually, I believe Hope Solo, who was very outspoken, would complain that they were, always the old guard, and we have to get past '99. And then the men's game is expected to have a boost in popularity when the World Cup comes to the United States. But I still don't, if we're just taking a general pick, I just don't know if it'll ever pass any of the four established. Yeah. And perhaps it could, because it's a finite amount of time. You know what I mean? Like you talk about with going to a Blues game, you're not going to be sitting there. As much as I love college football, they've obviously changed the rules to speed that up this year. For those of you who have watched, you don't stop the clock every time on a first down. You don't stop the clock all the time for an out of bounds. The games have moved quicker relative to what they were before. Take some unders. And, I think oftentimes media wants to create something into bigger than what it actually is. If the best athletes in the United States are not choosing to play the game, then you will continue to see other sports have greater popularity.
Yeah. And for some reason, every little kid in America, the first sport they play is soccer. They all do it. It's kindergarten, first grade, and yet for some reason they grow up as not very rabid soccer fans.
What I saw when I was a kid and we go to our friends' kids' soccer games, it's almost babysitting at a certain extent, to where it's a social thing for the parents. You obviously want your kid to be active as well, but parents aren't pushing soccer to kids. And once, they start to play baseball and other sports, soccer goes out the door. So I don't know if it's more about the sport as it is about hanging out with your friends, parents hanging out with their friends, kind of getting an hour, 2 hours of activity outside. It's not, man, I can't wait to see my kid play for the next 15 years. It's just, that's not how soccer is. In comparison, when you see your kid play baseball or, any other sport, it seems like it's one for the little kids, just to have them run around their ADD.
I guess to some extent, but there's an awful lot of people that continue to play soccer throughout high school on club teams, and
the only way
it's wildly popular still to play. But do those players become avid soccer fans? I don't know how many of them do.
If you had the Josh Sargents and the Polisniks, if they stayed with the MLS, if they stayed in America and played soccer,
that would help.
And you get some other name recognition, that's the only way, to me, casual fans are going to be watching the MLS.
Doug, producer Joe is listening to the show this morning.
Is he levitating this morning?
Loving this.
He says this is possibly the dumbest conversation this show has ever had, and that speaks volumes. You want to blow this guy's simple mind? There are people who watch the NFL and don't watch college football. That's from producer Joe.
What's your point?
Your mind just got blown.
No, you're comparing college football to NFL. And I guarantee there's a majority of people who watch NFL also watch college because they're betting on it.
I think what he's saying is if you're a football fan, you don't necessarily watch every football game.
Well, yeah, who's got that time?
Right, but you don't even watch any college football games. You just watch the NFL.
Yeah.
How many people is that other soccer team drawing for their games?
Doug, that other soccer team.
City 2?
Yeah, and the St. Louis Steelers. St. Louis Steelers.
Who?
Isn't there a soccer team called the St. Louis Steelers?
No.
I think it's City 2 is what they call it.
City 2. Are you talking about the Ambush? The indoor soccer league?
See, this is also the problem with soccer. We're figuring it out right now. There's too many damn leagues. There's too many
I don't know what
Are you talking about
Who are the Steelers?
Team 2, Team 3, Bundesliga, second Bundesliga? Dude,
What about
this
the
is why
Memphis
it's never going
Redbirds?
to pass for sure.
There's a team that
hockey.
plays at
This
City
is just
Park.
too much.
City 2. The minor
You got to
league
devote
thing.
your whole lives
They
to
just had
following
10,000 people at their games.
leagues like this.
That's not the one I'm saying. I think it was the St. Louis City or St. Louis Steelers
Doug,
soccer.
the Steelers. Mike Tomlin.
You were making this is like a fever dream.
It's a soccer team. I'm just wondering how many people they like soccer. How many people are out there watching that?
What? The St. Louis Steelers.
I've never heard of this team.
Can we get a T-shirt for the St. Louis Steelers?
Are you talking about the Steamers that folded up years ago?
No, I know the Steamers. I know the difference between indoor soccer and soccer.
I don't know what you're talking about, though.
I think it's called the St. Louis Steelers Soccer Club. I just know there's another team that plays that isn't St. Louis City, too.
Doug, have you been covering the St. Louis Steelers?
Which is the minor league team of the big team.
When I typed it in, it showed the Steelers are taking on the Rams this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers Nation Unite in St. Louis. It's a Steelers fan group. All right, I got an Instagram page.
Okay.
And Iggy is right. There is a semi-professional soccer team called the St. Louis Steelers,
Really?
and they have 227 Instagram followers.
There you go.
We just
Nobody following that soccer team.
It's like
do
a
they play?
company softball team.
It's soccer.
God,
they
that's
play?
embarrassing. It's all bad.
Take that, Joe.
Dude, I've never seen so much hatred on the text line, which is so funny.
Oh,
If this one topic can get someone just so...
South City Otis says, I blame Tim for this discussion. 99% of the time, Tim decides not to engage Iggy when he goes all Gatesworth and stumbles through trying to make a point. Today, Tim decided to engage this time. Things didn't go over well for Iggy, and by the look on his face, there's a real chance he sets himself on fire in front of Tim and his entire extended family today. That's South City Otis.
My face looks the same every day.
And there's a text line. The texter said there's only two... I'm an idiot. There's only 2 soccer teams in St. Louis. Well, isn't there like 3 or 4? Like, you have
Professional?
St. Louis City, you have City 2, and you have the Ambush, right?
Yeah, but the ambush is indoor.
Ambush is indoor.
That's
How
a,
about
that's
the
a
Oh, my
Lions?
God. Now
Are
we
they
have
still out
indoor
there?
soccer that we got to differentiate from
Steelers
soccer.
are in. The Steelers are outdoor soccer.
So there's like so many. That's fun.
well,
Sorry I missed those.
one of the things that's odd is that we are by population, 3rd largest country in the world. We have millions of men who play soccer in this country, and we're still not a factor on the national level. And never, unless you go way, way back, never really have been.
But Doug, by that logic, wouldn't like India be the best soccer country because they have the most people?
Yeah, you'd think they'd be a bigger threat.
But you're talking developed. I mean, you're just looking at the resources. We have more resources than India in terms of maybe getting athletes.
We lost to Trinidad and Tobago a couple years ago.
We're not going to pass. Like, it's just not happening. Kids just have too much to. Like, soccer isn't a thing. Like, they want to play
it's a thing
baseball.
for
They want to play
millions of people.
I'm
Millions of
talking once
athletes.
you get to like high school to college to the pro level, we're just never going to pass. Other countries.
Why not?
Just because we don't dedicate ourselves to soccer.
Well, those people that are playing do. The kids playing college soccer right now, they're certainly dedicating themselves to soccer.
Oh, Canada's the hockey capital of the world, and they went like 5 years when not one Canadian team made the playoffs.
But they've still got most of the best
But they have to
players in the
draft and
world.
like sign their players, not like local Canadians. But I'm talking like, what is it, the Netherlands and the Dutch to have like 2 million people and have 2 amazing soccer teams?
Yeah, why can't we
like
put one together?
Well, if you look at the teams that are successful in soccer, that's basically the only sport in their country, that and cricket.
Well, we still outnumber them.
Yeah, outnumber them, yeah. But they're growing up to play that sport because it's the only one in their country. There's 10, 20 different sports you can play in the United States.
But we still have tens of thousands of terrific male athletes who've dedicated themselves to soccer and soccer alone, and we still can't get there.
Well, they're not very good. They probably should have stuck to another sport.
I don't know if it comes down to coaching or the routine or the schedule. You would think. I mean, when the United States puts its mind to being the best at a sport, we're usually right there with the very best, except men's soccer.
Oh, because kids nowadays, they can't stick to one thing. They ADT, they start playing soccer, and then they want to switch to something else when they get bored. Brazil, Argentina, that's all they know is soccer. They start playing soccer when they're 2 years old, and that's all they play.
I understand it, but we do have people like that's all they play.
And again, they're not very good. They probably should have split to something else.
I don't know. Why aren't they good?
Good morning. This might be the worst 7 o'clock hour in the history of this miserable show.
Jim
They
Dandy.
hate this show today.
It hasn't been
That's
great.
from Dewey Oxberger, Doug.
God, it's so great, man.
Holy F. Please stop this, Tim. They are all so stupid. That's from Jenny Talia. This
Don't
might
hate
be
the player, hate their game.
This
That's
might
right.
be it. That might be the dumbest thing Iggy has ever said. Canadian NHL teams, come on! It's from Lord of my parents' basement.
What do you mean? Toronto, Montreal, Edmonton, Vancouver. There's a time when none of them made the playoffs.
But that's a professional league. We're not talking about the country. Whenever they have the World Cup or the Olympics, the Canadian team is always considered the favorite, if not next to being the favorite. when they put the players, if you put all the Canadians on one Canadian team, you'd have the best team in the NHL.
You would think.
And when you put them all together in the World Cup and the Olympics, they're almost always as good as anybody.
That proves my point. When you put the teams together from the country, Brazil, Argentina, guess what? They usually win because that's all they play in their country is soccer.
But we have guys that all they play is soccer.
They play other sports in those countries.
Not many. Name what? Cricket?
But we
basketball. Argentina is.
This might be one of my favorite 7 o'clock.
But we do have some top male athletes who do nothing but play soccer almost their entire life, and we never really get to the top of the national talent.
Well, they should
international
Well,
talent.
they should just quit playing then. Their parents
just stop playing. I'm not saying that.
Their parents should tell them it doesn't matter if you want to.
I love that take. Just stop playing.
Shut down soccer.
We don't have good players in this country. I don't care,
That's
Jimmy.
good.
I don't care how long you want to play this. You're not going to succeed. We suck in soccer, so pick something else. We're tired of paying
That's not
for
the
it.
answer.
I hope that.
Doug, there is an absolute rage right now in this EDF group text inbox, not just about the segment, but that Iggy said kids have ADT, which is, of course, a security company.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Did you mean ADD?
Yeah.
Not all of them have that. Some. They have that in other countries too. I'm just always wondering, is it the coaching or is it the talent? What is it that keeps the United States from getting to the top of international men's soccer?
It's both. It's
Dude, a lot of people want Iggy to be buried.
It's both, Doug. I mean, with the cream of the crop athletes don't necessarily play soccer. Some do, but not all.
Well, that's true. I'm saying still by numbers, we still have many cream of the crop athletes who do play soccer.
No, you're not wrong.
What does that tell you?
It's just not ingrained in our culture like some other countries too. You know.
That's what I said.
Well, you said that that's the only thing they play.
A lot of them, that is the only one they play. They want to play soccer.
I would say now more than ever, kids are playing one specialized sport from an early age.
Probably so.
More so, I feel like in older days, like you'd play 3 sport athletes. It's pretty rare nowadays.
And tennis. I mean, a lot of people play tennis. There's no good American tennis players.
Yeah, there is. Right now, they're the best. Like we have the best cream of the crop in terms of American tennis players that we've had in the last 20 years.
And there's like 4 of them.
Yeah, I know, but that like.
Which one is it?
Well, you're talking about just Andy Roddick 20 years ago. You know, like.
People don't play tennis in the numbers that they play soccer, though.
Yeah, 2 Americans. I think were in the semis or the quarters in the U.S. Like, tennis that's a great sport to watch.
Keys and golf.
We've been living in a Swopes Picks for all of 2023, titled 2023 Can Happen. Today, my man painted his magnum opus, Alan Dadeville. What's up, Plowsy?
Oh, you got a shot in there, Plaus. You got a hello out of it.
What up?
Doug, if you are dealing with low energy or motivation, why don't you go to Mentality? It's online at lowtusa.com.
I should.
If you're irritable, you're feeling anxious, moody, you're tired all the time, Mentality can take care of it for you at lowtusa.com. Mentality is a local healthcare facility. The Plowhawk's mic. Mentality is a local healthcare facility specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform at their very best. It doesn't matter what age you are, low testosterone can be an issue with any guy. Even if you've tried testosterone before, not everyone understands the blood chemistry in men's bodies, and that's where Mentality can help. Online at lowtusa.com. Compete at work and at sports like you did years ago with Mentality. lowtusa.com. We are in our Michelob Ultra studios, 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbohydrates. Michelob Ultra, the presenting sponsor of the TMA Hit and Giggle, taking place, Doug, 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah,
How do you do?
coming up.
Friday, October 6th at Family Golf and Learning Center. Your $55 ticket will include 9 holes, beer from Michelob Ultra, and lunch or dinner. Plus, you get to watch Iggy bomb his 230-yard drives. I'll be gambling with the listeners. That short game area, I think, allows for about a 100-yard shot, or maybe we'll just chip it from 10 feet. I don't know. You want to chip from the rough? You want to chip from the short grass? That's up to you, the short grass. What do you like?
Frog's hair.
Frog's hair?
Frog's hair chipping.
Yeah, it's all there for you. It's at Family Golf and Learning Center, familygolfonline.com. Get your work in. Double-decker driving range, the grass turf greens, or the grass turf ranges, and, of course, the short game area, the par 3, 9-hole course, which I have played multiple times this year with my son. And then also inside on rainy and cold days, they have their simulator bays. It's Family Golf and Learning Center with wonderful instructors. You want to get better at the game? Go to FamilyGolfOnline.com and work with the great Adam Betts and his staff at Family Golf and Learning Center. FamilyGolfOnline.com. Send your emails in. A lot to work with today. The morning after at InsideSTL.com for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. Design Air Heating and Cooling reminding you, you know what, it might be warm out, but this is the time of year to schedule your furnace tune-up for the cold weather months. Seth and his team are coming by our house next week to do the furnace tune-up, and they can do the same thing for you. It takes a matter of minutes to schedule at DesignAirService.com, and they come out and they make sure your furnace is ready to go for the cold weather months. DesignAirService.com, the official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at DesignAirService.com. Send your emails in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. JV Golf Coach with a 3-goal lead on Buck Swope, Shooter McGavin, Ellen Foley, Brian Henshin, and the Tinky Monster, all with 1 win. 7 more emails for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the month in the month of September. And sign up at TMASTL.com for our Hit and Giggle presented by Michelob Ultra, Family Golf, at Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. And you can also sign up at TMASTL.com to be the TMA Listener of the Month, presented by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to a brighter side of tequila with Milagro. It might have been caller Ellen, but she has withdrawn despite the support, the grassroots support.
She didn't want the honor.
She didn't want it. She wanted nothing to do with it. You want a doggy
Kind of like
shirt?
David Freese going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, didn't want it.
Yeah.
Could have had it. Didn't want it.
No,
TMASTLshop.com for this Defense Doggies Defense t-shirt, along with dozens of others t-shirts and hoodies for the fall time. All available for you. Everything is 10% off when you go to our TMASTLshop.com. When you check out, we'll take a commercial break, come back with our 8 o'clock hour, closing out the Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
All right, here we go. Here's something new. Announcing the first ever TMA Hit and Giggle. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Benefiting the Megan Meyer Foundation. Friday, October 6th at Family Golf and Learning Center. It's a 9-hole par 3 tournament full of threesomes. Oh, geez. And it's a walking course, so if you're a walrus, start getting in shape. Your $55 ticket includes 9 holes, beer from Mich Ultra, and lunch or dinner depending on your tee time. Plus shipping and putting contests for our degenerate gamblers. You'll also get to see Iggy's Long Drive Challenge. Brought to you by Souter Appraisal. Can he hit it 210, 220, maybe 223? Who knows? But it should be a fun day no matter what. The first ever TMA Hit and Giggle. Brought to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. Better than ever for you, their customer. And Family Golf and Learning Center. They make St. Louis better at golf. Visit FamilyGolfOnline.com. Tickets are on sale now. Get all of the Hit and Giggle info now at TMASTL.com. You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. Featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. And another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com. The most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
This is Doug Biggs from the Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm, and I want to talk to you about what happens when you get in a car accident. Hopefully most of you never will be, but if you are, the first few days after an accident can be critical. Unfortunately, from the moment your case begins, the insurance company is going to be working against you, trying to minimize their payout. You're probably going to get a call from an adjuster who seems nice, who seems worried about your well-being, but what they're actually trying to do is get a statement from you to use against you later. Insurance companies have specialized systems and thousands of workers who follow a playbook to pay you as little money as possible. At Longo Biggs Injury Law, we know the playbook and we can fight back. If you or a loved one is injured in an accident, visit our website or Google Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Do you want to support the EDF Group as a sponsor of TMA? Well, it's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher where you work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So, please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hot and will prevent your facility from having hot fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at theedfgroup.com.
Illinois Recovery Center is the new premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. When it comes to the disease of addiction, getting help should not be as difficult as it currently is. The Illinois Recovery Center's mission is to be the receiving hand in the community when someone seeks help. The IRC delivers a comprehensive system of care that welcomes both the individual struggling and family alike. If you or someone you know wants to learn about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or email info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com.
Hello, it's Jackson for Rosalitas. TMA listeners know that Rosalitas Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalitas is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalitas has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, and let Rosalitas cater your next event. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalitas.
Okay.
Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at tmastl.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota, the presenting sponsor of Balloon Party on 101 ESPN, and the longtime 7 o'clock hour sponsor on TMA, and the official automotive provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. They have a secret number for our listeners to call or text with any questions or requests they may have. 314-252-0029. Call or text that number. Go shopping at stlouisacura.com or altontoyota.com.
With the fall's cool weather upon us, we hope you'll let Lee May Concrete Block help you with all your landscaping projects. We have been a locally owned and operated manufacturer since 1947, priding ourselves on the quality of our products and the customer service we provide. Lee May Block offers a complete line of fireplaces, outdoor living kits, decorative retaining wall blocks, ready-mix concrete, masonry block, as well as concrete parking curbs and air conditioning slabs. Please come visit our showroom off South Broadway at 326 East Courtois, or visit us online at leemayblock.com.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award, and if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to tmastl.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's sports talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN. Or get the podcast on the TMA app. KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. Now, back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
Halloween, go grab a sheet or your favorite mask. Trick or treat, door by door to fill our bags with candy. Scary things waiting for you around the corner of every street. It's Halloween, it's time to scare the pants off your friends. It's Halloween.
They should play this at the town this weekend.
I could see him playing it. Marching Mizzou.
I don't think they'll play this.
Have Drink do the lyrics.
Oh.
What are you going to be for
Halloween? Doug, listen to this haunting part.
That is haunting. I'm frightened.
Thank you. It's Ryan Kelly Morning After, Doug, and we are in our Michelob Ultra Studios. My name is Timothy Michael McKernan. Been doing the show since July of 2004. And yet still I'm a youthful little boy slut. Isn't that amazing?
That's how you describe yourself?
In my resume.
That's the first line? Youthful little boy slut?
Right, my LinkedIn page, which apparently I have a couple, but I'm not active on there. A lot of people are active on those things.
On LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and they write takes.
Takes on LinkedIn?
Can confirm.
What is the deal with that?
It can always be used under the guise of like career advancement, but to me it strikes me as a lot of humble bragging.
Oh, is that right?
It's like, just got my promotion at this job, but it's like, I'm marketing myself, but really...
Rank social media platform humble brag.
The Gram won 10 stories, and then...
What's 10 stories?
Like, if we're talking about a building, it's Instagram at the top, then 10 stories of emptiness.
Nice.
And then I'll say LinkedIn at 2.
Wow! Really? Eye-opening.
TikTok 3. Twitter 4. Because, like, to me, LinkedIn is when
Is there really humble bragging going on Twitter? I don't know.
I'm talking, like, so LinkedIn is all when ball writers get a new
job.
job.
Some personal news.
Some personal news, that's all LinkedIn is. And that is the biggest form of humble bragging on Twitter. So I think LinkedIn kind of concentrating.
But the only people who ever announce a career change on Twitter
are ball writers.
Right.
Right, but LinkedIn is every career is doing that.
Oh, dude, there's a great parody video from this dude who does basically a video of different people on LinkedIn. You know, what LinkedIn basically is as a whole, and it is one of the funniest, most accurate videos. I don't know how to explain it anymore.
I don't mess with my LinkedIn account.
Me either.
It can be a good tool for networking, but just honestly, networking alone, like, hurts my head, so...
Hurts your head?
Yeah, like a networking event, like... Ugh.
You think employers are using LinkedIn to find job applicants still?
Sure. But yeah, I think overall, like, again,
Indeed.com is the big one for that, though.
That's
right?
that's like a third-party job application site. LinkedIn is more like, hey, I connected with you, and then you DM and the whole thing.
Yeah.
They really push that on us at Mizzou to use LinkedIn.
Speaking of those Fighting Tigers, Doug, I just went to take a look at the money split on Missouri and Memphis, whereas last week, I both talked about it on 101 and here on TMA. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I was holding out hope for was the fact that the money really favored Missouri. Well, it's the opposite this week.
No.
And it's one of the biggest discrepancies between the percentage of bets and the percentage of money at this moment. Now, I should note, this is with a small sample size of bets, only 2,598 bets. But 45% of the bets are on Memphis, 55% of the bets are on Missouri. However, 79% of the money is on Memphis, and the number is currently, the best number for Memphis is 6.5. The best number if you're betting Missouri is 6. Brady Cook did practice yesterday, so that puts to rest the questions as to whether he will play in 2 days at the Dome. 6:30 kickoff, Tigers versus Tigers, 2 of the next 3 games.
That's exciting.
Yeah, fun. What a schedule oddity. Guess if they could have gotten War Eagle in there instead of Vanderbilt, that would have been Tigers.
They're planning a big tailgate down there at the Dome.
Yeah, the Colonel.
Colonel's going to be there?
I think so. Colonel's got a tailgate.
Really?
I might stop by. I've never met
Who
the
are you
Colonel.
going with, Oatmeal?
I got a big crew going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Really looking forward to it.
You going to get some ass, huh?
Gonna get a dub, hopefully.
Oh, what would you rather get, a dub or ass, huh?
Dub.
Wow.
I can get ass otherwise.
Oh, gosh.
Damn!
Talk about a humble brag.
Yeah, post that on LinkedIn.
Just being honest.
Damn!
How many ways do you remember? How many undefeated seasons do you remember? Come on.
Well, they've never happened.
Exactly.
When was the last time you got laid at a football game?
Never. At a football game?
Well, I mean, you met somebody at a football game and then banged her.
Never. Tailgate, yes.
Well, wouldn't it be a football game?
But I didn't go to the game.
Yeah, but at a football game.
Never.
Okay.
There's a lot of Mizzou students who go to the tailgates and never go to the game.
I would say most.
Yeah.
Well, we got Strode Family Game Night. I don't even know if they'll have that on the TV.
Oh, Strode Family Game Night's more important than this Missouri Tiger outfit?
Well, I mean, we'll be playing games, and it's hard to watch a football game while you're playing games.
You can have it on in the background.
Probably, but, you know, I won't be able to sit there and just watch it like I would. I have to, like, look up every once in a while.
How many people will be at this game night?
10 or 12.
How many of them will be praying that they're going to a soccer game?
No. You want to get back to that?
I'm kidding. I think the Tigers.
What are you taking, Plowhawk?
I think Missouri is on a. I think it's the Brady Cook thing kind of up in the air.
Like his health?
Yeah, because I think Sam Horn, he's maybe super talented, but he hasn't played a ton of snaps.
No.
So if you want him, I mean, even if you run the ball 60, 70% of the time, you still got to trust him, make those key throws. I mean, Memphis isn't a butt ass. They're certainly not SEC caliber, but I wouldn't say this is a complete walkover.
I would say, if I could bet, I would bet that Brady Cook will be under center for the first.
Don't say under center.
Which
it doesn't make any sense.
If that's the case, Missouri, I think they'll win by 10. I think that'll be.
If Brady Cook is starting? Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I think they'll open up the playbook more. I think if Horn plays, I think they're going to rely more on little screens, a lot of running. I couldn't see him opening up the playbook too much with Horn.
You worried about a letdown after a big win like that? Storm
Yes.
the field?
I also think to me, you know, from a gambling standpoint, what gamblers, one of the things that they use when they're looking at plays, I believe, I mean, it's not like I'm some successful gambler, but I have an understanding, I believe, of what because I can't build out algorithms like these guys who are now not allowed to bet, is one of the things I believe they factor in addition to injury, certainly, but is when the public overreacts to recency bias. Well, I mean, that would be by definition recency bias, so it was a redundant statement. But the point being, this time last week, who was really thinking that was a casual fan of Missouri that they were going to beat Kansas State? Truly. I mean, I suppose, you know, there were some, but I think a lot of that would have been rooted in hope. And then on the other side of it now, it's like, well, Missouri just beat Kansas State. But keep in mind how close that was. And had K-State won in overtime, the recency bias would have been, God, Missouri's 2-1 and they just lost a heartbreaker. But that's literally one play from happening. I mean, if Mevis misses that kick, K-State scores a touchdown, Missouri can't score a touchdown in overtime, the game ends. But it didn't take away from the fact, which what excited me, was that clearly Missouri, number one, Brady Cook, number two, the offensive play calling, and number three, and maybe should be number one, is Luther Burden, can move the football that they didn't display in the first couple of games. So that overall told me that the team was better than most of us thought this time last week. So that also doesn't mean that Missouri's a great team, but the public perception now locally is, God, Missouri, I mean, Memphis and Vanderbilt, those are layups now. But hey, they were that close to losing to Kansas State. They just played better than I think people expected. But on their outcome delta, or outcome on a bell curve, you would sit there and go, okay, yeah, them losing to Memphis is certainly in play. I would say they lose to Memphis 33% of the time, actually.
Can you work the word arbitrage in there?
I don't know what arbitrage means. I hear it a lot when I'm watching Cardinal press conferences, but honestly, I have no idea what it means.
No.
Wasn't she a singer? Joan Arbitrage?
Doug, was it Joan Arbitrage, who John Mazilek is referencing?
I'm going to look up and see what it means.
Hey, I got you.
Look up.
The simultaneous buying and selling of securities, currency, or commodities in different markets or in derivative forms, or to take advantage of differing prices from the same asset. The same asset.
So how does that figure into Cardinal?
That's exactly what I was thinking as Jackson was reading that.
And also, if you're using that was the noun version. If you're using it as a verb, buy and sell assets using arbitrage.
Oh, gosh.
I think words should just be a noun or a verb. You can't be both. Confuses too many people.
Well, what about the word like run? Right. We scored a run. It's a noun. Run after your dog. It's a verb.
Nice. RBIs kills me. Run batted ends. When somebody says RBIs.
I always say RBIs.
I do too, and it's
what about
hard for me to not.
I say pants.
Well, you're not wearing more than one pair, are you?
Think about that.
But I have one for either leg.
Oh.
Some things just don't make sense. They've just always been that way.
Yeah, that was always one of my worst subjects in school is what's an adjective, what's a verb, what's a noun. I never knew.
Not that hard. A noun is a person, place, or thing. A verb is an action. An adjective is describing something. Got it?
I'm hot. What is that?
Adjective.
I agree.
You walked to the employee. You bopped on down to Keishi. What would the word bop be?
Describing something.
No.
Perfect.
It's the action. You bopped down there.
See,
that's
that's
the verb.
why I don't get it.
Well, for heaven's sakes.
That's why when people refer to me as her, she, I don't get it. Is that a noun?
Pronoun.
No, what's a pronoun? What's the difference between a pronoun and a noun? Don't get into it. I'm just dumb. I always had problems with that, and I never really paid attention to it. So,
Tim, stop him now! I can't do a second hour of this. It's from Lady Sonia's teacup.
all I do is ask a question. Maybe I helped you too, because you probably don't know what they are.
Well, I hope we all learned a little something here today.
Can someone investigate the curriculum at Brentwood High School? Thanks. That's Chairman Steve, and he's in Wildwood at the moment.
Well, I didn't pay attention much.
Well, you should have.
I just always figured I was going to be a DJ on Keishi. I didn't need an education.
Are you saying those guys aren't educated?
They are. I didn't need it.
It's true.
Why wouldn't you have needed
You don't
it?
need an education to do this.
I didn't need
we're all
one for
in
this
agreement
either,
on that,
obviously.
right?
Well, I don't know. If you're hiring people, you'd just as soon they'd be educated as not educated, wouldn't you?
I'm educated. I just didn't care about the little things like I never figured I was going to need to know what a noun was.
Well, but you can't make that distinction when you're a kid. You just have to try to learn what they present to you and trust that it's going to be important to you later.
All right, coming up next, Led Zeppelin here on Keishi 95. Hold on, my boss is in here. Do you know what a noun is? No. Get out.
Well, there it is.
Now, that's not a reasonable example of what's going to happen. Oh, God.
Are you cresting?
Kind of. I kind of feel it happening. So you're saying education is overrated?
No. For certain jobs, like this job. Really don't need one.
Well, that's true. I think we prove that every day.
First hour, you prove I don't need an education.
You still have to be able to read, right? And I assume you learned some of that in school.
Yeah, I don't understand why some people can't read still to this day. You know,
dyslexia or something.
I don't know. I was reading when I was 4, so I don't know.
Well, you were a prodigy.
Wow, were you really? That's impressive.
Yeah, my mom always took us to the Brentwood Library on Saturday mornings. Always had a lady who would get up there and read books, and the kids would sit down and listen to her. Then they'd give us a book. That was I had all the Dr. Seuss books and all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love to read. I still like to read.
It's just education that you don't care for.
Yeah, like I'm reading the Truman Capote thing. I couldn't tell you what's a noun or an adjective in those books, but I like reading it.
Well, but we know now because we just had a lesson just a few minutes ago.
I'll forget when I walk out the door.
Oh. Okay.
Illinois Recovery Center is the new premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. When it comes to the disease of addiction, getting help should not be as difficult as it currently is. The Illinois Recovery Center's mission is to be the receiving hand in the community when someone seeks help. The IRC delivers a comprehensive system of care that welcomes both the individual struggling and family alike. If you or someone you know wants to learn about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or email info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com. That's info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com. Send your emails in for our Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today. It comes your way in about an hour. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. You like this doggy shirt I'm wearing, Doug? Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, doggies, defense. Defense, doggies, defense. Yep, it's right here. TMASTLshop.com. You can see it on YouTube. It's a shop look. 10% off. You check out. You get hoodies. You get T-shirts. Everything is available in both of them. TMASTLshop.com. TheFotoShop.com. Get yours, and it's 10% off. And that Mike Flanagan's going to ship it to you quick, fast, in a hurry. That guy doesn't mess around. I can tell you.
No,
that.
he does not.
He does not mess around. It's a bet. Lay it down. If they didn't know me 91, bet they know me now. Was that Mace or was that P. Diddy in 1997?
don't know the years.
Money, mo problems. I think that was Mace. And then would you say Biggie Smalls comes in posthumously?
I wouldn't say that because I wouldn't know it to be true. It could well be, but I don't know.
I saw a picture yesterday that I don't even know how they would have gotten together or why they would have gotten together. I saw a picture of a backseat of a car with Tupac, Biggie Smalls, and Kurt Cobain.
Probably not real.
Yeah, it was real.
It was real?
Yeah. It had the date and it said 3 superstars together, and they were all sitting in the backseat of a car. I was just curious how Kurt Cobain would have gotten with Biggie Smalls.
Like, how do you know it's real?
It was from a This Day in Rock History thing. It's a website that posts different pictures every day. And they're not Photoshop pictures. They're just, they post pictures. Jimi Hendrix this day at Montreux. The Rolling Stones this day playing the small club in London. And it just said this day in history and whatever year it was that Kurt Cobain, Biggie Smalls, and...
It looks like that. I'm not casting aspersions here, but it seems like that is a Photoshop picture.
Oh, no.
No.
I just saw 3 of them sitting in the backseat of a
No,
car.
I know. I'm not like trying to set you out here.
Photoshopping, verb.
But yeah, that's
That mean that
Photoshop.
chick is
The photo, noun.
Why would somebody post a picture of that on This Day in Rock History?
Post would be the verb.
And just put a picture of Kurt Cobain in the backseat of a car with those two.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that is a Photoshop picture.
All right.
Gosh, that took the wind out of your
I even
sails.
I asked the question. I said, I don't know why they'd be in the backseat of a car together. Unless they were in an awards show together.
Who would bother to Photoshop it? What do you get out of that?
I don't know. I think I'm going to Photoshop a picture.
Well, the guy got a win.
It looks like a cool
Whoever
picture.
did it
You just
got
got a
that
little
dub.
W?
The Photoshop, I've looked it up. Chris Novoselic. Doug, are you familiar with him? Do you say
No.
Novoselic or Novoselic?
I don't know.
He was in Nirvana with Kurt Cobain and Dave Grohl, and he was asked about it. It's a photoshopped image that combines 2 separate photos, one of Biggie in the front seat of a car and one of Cobain in the back seat alongside Pat Smear, not Tupac.
That's the guy's name?
Pat Smear. Yeah, he's in Foo
Pap
Fighters.
Smear?
No, Pat.
What a terrible
dude,
name.
You got to change your name.
Well, it is a stage name.
That's Kevin Miller's new name today when he emails in. Pat S. Smear.
Oh. It's just surprising that someone would take the time to do that. I mean, what are you going to get out of that? Just the W that he got here today?
I think it's a cool picture, but it is not.
Yeah, but you could have
genuine.
Photoshopped anybody in here. You could have.
Right.
Did Crystal Martin post this photo on Facebook? That's from Steve in Wildwood, and he's a
That's
chairman.
Funny. That makes a lot of sense.
Guys, I have pictures of Jesus, Sammy Davis Jr., and Timberfake playing Texas Hold'em. That's from former fan page moderator Neil Allen Craig Buckhead.
When did they get together?
Yeah, I could think of funnier things to Photoshop than that.
I get tattoos of Carlos Martinez on my mama.
On my mama.
That's what he said. Mom's a good
He
sport.
tried to fix me up with his mom once.
I got a lot of hoes in my stable.
Hey, guys, this Biggie, Pac, and Cobain pic is another AI bot that got Ken right. Take all of this guy's devices away before someone gets hurt. It's from Big Tough. How do I know it's real? Well, I saw it on the internet. Thanks, Wentzville Windpeaker.
Well, it's the site that I saw it on. Sure. This Day in Rock History.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any other ones. This Day in Rock History, Elvis Presley was jamming out with Tupac.
Oh.
That would have been an interesting
Yeah,
collab.
I mean, that would be a Photoshop one, but I mean, 3 big stars. I don't know. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
But you were right to question why would they all be in the car together.
Yeah, that could have been maybe they were at the CGBGs or they were at...
Now, what is that?
Nice.
That's a famous club in New York. I think it's
CBGBs?
actually in San Francisco.
New York, baby, New York.
Is it New York? Yeah. It's a club all the bands used to play back in the day before when they were nobodies and became huge stars. That could have been that. Could have been an award show. Maybe they're at a restaurant together. I don't know.
We're nobodies. You think we'll ever become huge stars?
We're stars of HD2 Radio in St. Louis.
Nobodies.
Disagree.
Jackson and I talk it over for an hour on 101 ESPN.
For real.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to
That's a
discount
real-
that now, Doug?
Thank you.
That's a real
for you.
station.
Good for you.
Guys, I love Iggy's passion on something he believes is real. That's from Painter Guy.
Well,
Okay,
God,
almost
I'm
a
sorry I
crestfallen.
brought it
Yeah,
up.
hand to the face. Beginning to
I mean,
crest.
so many texts on a picture I saw that unless Jack, someone looked it up, or Tim looked it up, and
I did. I just typed in Kurt Cobain, Tupac, Biggie Smalls picture.
yeah, I didn't bother to after I saw it. Oh, this is I better check to see if it's photoshopped. It was on a legitimate site that posts pictures every day of rock history. I guess they got duped.
Well, it's active in the YouTube chat right now, and Too Fat to Kayak is saying, stop, period, it, period, now,
Oh,
period.
Gosh. Take away all these devices?
Tim, are you Pac or Biggie?
Pac.
Nice.
But I enjoy both.
Sure, I think most people do, but so that's the debate.
I just don't think Biggie was around enough, long enough.
Doug, do you feel like Biggie was around?
I don't know. I don't follow that scene.
I mean, he's released more albums since he's died than when he was alive.
Okay.
I'm guessing, but I'm guessing he probably released 2 or 3 albums posthumously, and then he only released 2 before he died.
Dying at 24 will do that.
Yeah, that's why I'm just curious. Not curious, but I'm just kind of, I don't know how he's so popular when he really didn't release much. I mean,
Well, some people are more popular in death than when they're alive.
he was going to be huge, and people still think he's one of the best rappers of all time. You can argue him, Tupac, Eminem, Ice Cube.
Okay. What music plays at the gates for?
Polka.
Just music?
Shut up, he knows nothing about rap. What about Too Short?
Doug, Colorado is getting 20.5. Eugene.
What time does that game kick off?
2:30 p.m., although that has been a point of consternation on the program this week as well. 63% of the bets on Colorado, but only 29% of the money on Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the weekend where Deion Sanders gets his reckoning? I like the over in that game. It's 70.5, and I just like the over in that game.
I think the season total win total for Colorado was 3.5.
Yeah, so they can ship that.
They're going to fly over that. But even, their schedule is brutally tough.
74% of the bets on ILL against Florida Atlantic, minus 15.5, but 91% of the money, for the record. Any other games of no? Oh, yeah, what's going on with Ohio State? Who's the favorite in that? Ohio State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is the underdog.
Yeah, I think
Ohio State's -3. That number started at 7.5. Holy crap!
Did it really?
Yeah, 61% of the money's on Notre Dame, 55% of the volume on Notre Dame. So not that big of a discrepancy. Everybody's
UCLA,
on South
Utah.
Carolina. UCLA. What's going on with UCLA, Utah?
Most of the volume is on Utah at 4.5, minus 4.5, I should say. But the money is favoring UCLA at plus 4.5 at 61%.
Doug, Chip Kelly.
That game is in Provo, though. Is that where they play? Utah plays Provo?
That's where BYU plays. I
Oh,
thought.
okay, you're right. Utah probably.
Utah's in Salt Lake City. isn't it?
Okay,
Yeah.
my apologies.
I could see Oregon covering that game and still going over, like 52-28, something like that.
I would agree. I would agree with that assessment, sir. Florida State, Clemson, big game there. Florida State might be their toughest test left, depending on what goes on with the Gators later on in the year. I don't know what they'll be, but Florida State, everybody is on Florida State. Money and the volume, big time. They're only giving up 2.5 points in Clemson. That's Dabo Swinney. That's the Plowhawks guy, right? You don't like Dabo Swinney, Aaron?
Oh, he's one of the worst.
Why
I'm
don't
with
you like
Plowboy.
him?
Oh, everything about him is look at me, look at me, look at me. He hates players making money.
Isn't that kind of college football coaches in general?
Oh, God, no. No, you got the new wave in here that actually like and respect NIL. And
Like
I gotta put Drink up there in terms of a guy who
Player first coach.
player for coach, doesn't care at all how much money his players are getting. And that's how you need to be. Look at Deion. Deion's about to get like top 5 recruiting classes every year just based on attitude.
Wingo is going to Boulder
Yeah.
for USC and Colorado next week.
Yeah.
The Colonel reported that on Power Mizzou last night.
I'm not saying that's going to happen, but look at what he's doing. He doesn't need to recruit guys all year. He can bring them to one game, talk to about 50 celebrities, have a nice dinner, show them what you can be, and that's it. I mean, it's a good recruiting tool. Dabo had the upper hand there about 5 years ago, but with NIL, He looks like a fool, too, when he talks about it.
The issue for them is just their offense has been
so bleak.
Caught in kind of like what I think Alabama's going to have to do this year, which is try to grind games. I'm anxious to see that game with Ole Miss and Roll Tide. Roll Tide -7, by the way. As that kind of falls apart. Now that's in Tuscaloosa. Doug, is this the time to go on Roll Tide?
They've got no signal caller.
Yeah.
They switched quarterbacks this week, right?
I think they're going to go back to the guy they had in week 1.
They should have. They should have never switched to get. I don't know why they did that.
The 21st century top football coaches, Doug, so far. You would say Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, but both struggling so far in 2023. Here's Boston Sports Talk Radio host Tony Maserati.
Bill Mazeroski.
No. Tony Maserati of 98.5 The Sports Hub, and he's got a take on Bill Belichick.
Love to hear
What coach across the league needs to be fired right now? And are there any more than one? Is it a list of 2 or 3 or just one? Who?
Bill Belichick.
No.
Brandon Staley
Right
and Bill
now.
Belichick.
Right
yes,
now.
Yes, right now.
Right now. He deserves to be fired right now.
Yes, why are you
agreeing.
surprised? I said I would fire him 3 years ago.
Right now.
Yeah. Out. Bye. Done. See you later.
Same answer as Maz. Is this going to get better? It's not. So he's got to go.
It should have already happened. The only reason it hasn't happened is because of that stupid
Should have
record.
happened 3 years ago, Maz.
Well, okay, 2.
After the Cam Newton year?
1.
Well, in retrospect, yes.
Yes, they should have. Kraft should have said, Tom, what do you want? And if he said, I want Bill gone, I want Josh to be head coach.
No. 4 years ago. So I'm sorry, I'm just confusing the years. When Brady was walking out the door, that's fine. That's fair.
Yeah, in hindsight now, Kraft should have been like, Tom, whatever you want.
Yep.
Who do you want as coach? You can do whatever you want. Whatever.
Fine.
Okay, but I'll tell you what. I'll even build in the cushion because Bill is Bill.
So
last year was a fireable offense.
You bet.
Last year was a fireable
So do it now?
offense.
Do it today on the off day?
Sure. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm for it. Same answer.
See you later.
Staley and Belichick out.
What,
Bye.
I'm going to cry?
Save the season.
Gosh.
Dude, the fact that...
How soon they forget.
Yeah, and the Charger coach is really good. Not a great game manager, but like just firing coaching to fire him. Like the Chicago Bears should fire their coach immediately.
Oh, you're going after former Missouri coach Matt Eberflus.
He's a defensive guy, and his defense is trash. I just... Did you read that story?
The defensive coordinator resigned.
Are you reading that story?
What, in addition to the statement that was from his home computer, what, in addition to what?
So this NFL Rumors has 280,000 followers. You know Peanut Tillman, Charles Tillman?
Charles Tillman, Peanut Tillman.
Former Chicago Bear and currently an FBI, and currently an agent in the FBI and former Chicago manager, including head coach, GM, president, and defensive coordinator Alan Williams' houses are being raided.
For what?
Nothing more has been said. This is yesterday at 3 p.m.
All right.
It seems like legit, so like there's nothing more. I don't really
That was
know
one of
what else to
Jackson's
add.
links this morning. Bears defensive coordinator Alan Williams resigned. The team announced on Wednesday Williams stepped away from the team last week, citing personal issues with head coach, former Missouri coach, Matt Eberflus, taking over defensive play calling duties for the 2017 loss to the Buccaneers. I am taking a step back to take care of my health and family. I appreciate the opportunity to work for the Bears, a storied NFL franchise with a rich history, Williams said in a statement. The McCaskey family is first class and second to none. I'd also like to thank Coach Matt Eberflus and General Manager Ryan Poles for giving me the opportunity to come to Chicago. I'd also like to thank President Kevin Warren, the coaches and players of which I value the relationships. I value the NFL Shield. You like that? I like the Shield.
No,
Protect the
I
Shield.
don't. I don't need that.
Earlier Wednesday, Eberflus, who was expected to call plays for the defense Sunday against the Chiefs, declined to say whether Williams remained with the team. I don't have any update right now, he said. Shortly thereafter, Sports Talk Chicago reported law enforcement raided Williams' home and the Bears' headquarters in connection with an undisclosed incident. The Lake Forest police source was not aware of any activity involving local law enforcement on Wednesday, but per 670 The Score, a Bears spokesperson denied that the Bears headquarters had been raided by authorities or the police ever visited the facility. Brad Biggs, a longtime Bears reporter for the Chicago Tribune, expressed skepticism over Williams' resignation statement. Quote, a lot of speculation about the status of Alan Williams. I can tell you for the last 3 days we've been operating under the belief that his absence has not been related to health or a family matter.
See, yeah, I don't know what to believe. But that's wild.
I think Ian Rappaport said that the police raiding thing was
correct.
being
Yeah,
refuted.
yeah. Again, I don't know who to believe. These But that's wild. The fact that Charles Tillman is in the FBI is also very wild and strange. And I kind of love it.
Well, there's not too many people that would resign their $1 million
Correct.
job 2 weeks into the season.
Yeah, this is definitely not family issue, you would think. Gambling, maybe? I don't know. That seems to be a big topic.
Here's Rappaport's tweet. Clarity, the FBI did not raid Hallis Hall today. The league is not involved. Peanut Tillman is not involved whatsoever in this matter.
Cool.
That's from Ian.
Who is Peanut and why was he chirping?
He's a former Bear player. Really good.
What kind of treat
What did you just
Ding
eat?
dong.
Right in the middle of a very important discussion.
Takes, then baked treats.
That's right.
Literally
Cakes and bakes.
in succession. It's outstanding.
Yeah, that's a story that's interesting.
Well, so is the people in Boston calling for Belichick's firing. I mean, he put together one of the most incredible runs in the history of American professional sports. Don't you think he's got a job there until the day he decides he doesn't want it?
You get a 10-year buffer from your last Super Bowl if you win your sixth. It doesn't matter if you go 1-16 in those 10 years.
You
keep
would
them.
think, you know. It is also kind of telling that once Brady left, he's just another average guy.
Yeah, but that team around him, that team's pretty bad.
Well,
I don't know if he
who's
drafted
that
the
on?
player. I don't know who.
That's on him, isn't it? I'm sure he has the say on who they get.
Doug, this is kind of breaking news. There's a picture of Minwoo Lee, his sister, and Iggy that's been posted on the TMA fan page.
It's got to be real. It's on the internet.
How's it look?
Is that a real picture?
Well,
Is that real important?
I mean, that's about as Photoshop as you get.
That's not real.
That's so darling.
I kind of like it. I'd rather be next to Minwoo.
That's the handiwork of KG and O-Town.
Oh, this crap.
Oh.
Well, I did say it's a terrible Photoshop, but
Buck Swope says that's the more popular MMF.
I would participate in that one.
You would?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, she's as cute as a button. So is he.
Oh.
Unfortunately, they're related.
Gosh.
Well,
guys, Iggy just posted that while the rest of the dais was talking. It was from his burner. That's from Wedding Tackle. What are we talking about now? What did you post from your
I
burner?
don't know how to Photoshop. Somebody's saying I posted that picture. I have no idea how to Photoshop. I didn't know what Photoshop was until D-Bear started doing stuff.
Yeah.
I love when I text my father breaking news and I have to backtrack the Peanut Tillman involvement. Classic Plowsy. That's from the 618. What does that mean? I love when I text my father breaking news and I have to backtrack the Peanut Tillman involvement. Classic Plowsy.
It was an account with 250,000 followers, and it had great detail. I mean, Tillman is an FBI agent. He is a former Bear. I didn't say it was real or not. I just said it looked like they were reporting it as such. So, I mean, I said many times in my statement, I have no idea what to believe.
What is my father breaking news? I don't follow that part. Hell, I don't know, Doug.
No, I don't know either.
It could be that he heard what Plazzi said, sent his father the information.
Well, it's fine. If it was an account with 1,100 followers and like a fake, X through, Eberflus's face, I'd realize it was a parody account. But it seemed like this was a legit account. It does seem like it's a legit account. If we go to NFL rumors.
Well, there's something missing from that story that we don't know yet.
Yeah. It's always the family thing as a blanket statement. I remember when Matt Holliday, 2 weeks after he took the job, decided he didn't want it, and you had a family 2 weeks ago. We'll never know what the real story is, but you could always use family personal issues, and no one will act.
I saw that he resigned yesterday. I'm just like, the Bears are,
bad.
Yeah, it's a dumpster fire. I mean, you had Justin Fields saying that he's going rogue this weekend because why? Well, too much coaching. So he's just going to play his own game. Now, that's the offensive side of the football. So when I saw the Williams resignation, I'm going, my God, Matt Eberflus gets a chance to be a head coach, and he's got what is becoming the negative team story of the year in week 3. But, the Bears defense is not the one that was getting all the attention after Fields said he was going to go rogue. So it just sounds like it's an absolute mess up there. Jackson, you were really high on them this year, weren't you?
Yeah, boy, it's on my face so far. A lot of football has to be played, but I love Justin Fields. I'm a huge Justin Fields fan, so I really want to see him succeed. I think I might have, and I liked what they did in the offseason. They got the Chiefs this weekend, 12.5-point dogs.
12.5.
It's not Fields, though, man. Like
Where is that game?
In Kansas City.
Yeah, they're going to get
Is it in Kansas City? Or are they?
That's what it says. I mean, usually the team
I
on
don't
the
think
bottom.
they'd be 12.5.
I thought for some reason they might be in Mexico this weekend, but maybe.
Oh, that could be. I mean, all I'm seeing is like the top and the bottom, and usually the bottom team is the road team.
Well, he should go rogue. I saw a Chicago talk show host talking about play calling. He said, and they called one running play for Justin Fields, and that was a quarterback sneak.
That game's at Arrowhead.
Okay. And Arrowhead is in Mexico.
Right.
No, it isn't.
I think this one is the Kansas.
You could probably find an Arrowhead somewhere in Mexico.
agree with
The
you.
stadium itself, the
agree with you on
noun,
that.
is not there.
I will say, more money is getting on the Bears.
Oh.
12.5. It's a lot of points.
They got no hope.
Kansas City hasn't looked very good.
I mean, they lost the one game without Kelsey.
They didn't look good last week, even with Kelsey.
Oh, so you're on the Bears?
No, the Bears haven't looked good either. But
Have the Chiefs been so poor that you'd like to see Bill Belichick fired?
I mean, when I gamble, and I don't do a lot of it, I usually bet over underlines, but it's hard not to take a team getting that many points at home in the NFL.
They are on the road.
Oh, I thought you said they were at home.
No, Arrowhead.
Arrowhead, okay.
Arrowhead in Mexico.
It's not in Mexico.
It might be, though.
There are people from Mexico, Missouri that will be at Arrowhead.
That is correct.
Is that what you
That's
meant?
what Tim was alluding
what you
to.
meant, yeah.
What in the absolute hell? Iggy admits he'd have a threesome with a brother and a sister? Here comes an FBI-rated Hubbard. Holy creep.
Yeah.
That's some lady selling his teacup.
I'd forgotten they were brother and sister.
Would it have mattered?
I don't know.
Well, I'm not the one. I'm not the one having incest.
Oh, those are famous last words to the police.
Counselor?
Guys, is Iggy commenting on a Facebook post right now while he's on the show? That's from the weightlifting podcast.
It was shown to me during the show.
Well, sure it was.
Idiot.
Yes, come on. Idiot.
Tim said, look, this is on the Facebook. I can't comment on it, Tim. It's during the show. I can't talk about the fan page on the show. Seriously, man, think before you text.
Think before you text. It's another T-shirt.
Think before you text.
It don't matter what I say. Stop him.
Oh.
Commenting on the fan page during the show. Stop him.
Well,
Now, if you want to comment on the thing I posted on my own Facebook page during the show, you can do that.
what did you post?
Did you post something on your Facebook page?
Yeah, I meant to do it this morning when I left and I forgot. There's just two more cars sitting in our parking lot with no plates, no nothing, just...
So you're posting stuff about your apartment complex on your Facebook page?
Yeah, because it pissed me off this morning because I keep calling them and telling them about these cars in the parking lot. They're
Well, there
taking
it
up
is.
space and there's no plates on them, no temp tags, no nothing. I can't call the police because they say, well, it's private property.
Well, there's some
can't do it.
guys unhappy with your post. I just went to it.
I think one guy wanted to know why it bothered me. Well, it bothers me. For one, they're taking up spots. Two, they could be stolen. We don't know. We've
Can't
had
they
car
take up
break-ins
spots
there.
if they live there?
Well, they shouldn't be there. They don't have plates on the car. They're illegal cars.
That's happening all over town.
So I just said, I don't know why some people have different rules than I have. Spent $100
Because you follow the rules.
hundreds of dollars a year for a personal property
Right.
tax and
You
renewing
don't
your
have to
plates,
follow
and
the
some
rules
people don't
anymore.
have to.
You don't have to follow the rules anymore.
So it upset me.
You have to pay for your plates?
I don't know because
Oh, God.
Really?
well, I
Cletus
did.
does,
Well, I
probably.
did.
You don't pay for your plates even?
I did. No, because
Why wouldn't you?
do you pay for yours in your Munganess car?
Well, they're
Oh, a Munganess car.
Yeah, that's all I have. I don't have multiple cars like you.
Gosh.
But when I had
Doug, how many whips you got? They say you got a lot of whips, man. I got a lot.
But when I had my hoopty, I'd pay taxes on that every year, personal property tax, and I go get my plates renewed every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say I'm not going to do it. Just take that plate off. Let my car sit here and drive around with no plates.
Hey, Pumpkin!
Oh,
The cars are parked. They're not driving, and it's not illegal. It's from Jobu's Rum, and he's upset.
But the cars do leave, and they go, and they come back. So they are driving them around.
Does Cletus pay for your tags? It's from Flocky. What the F? What? Brian Henson is all caps now.
And but you don't say what. You just shut him up. What the hell? What's he talking about?
and you don't like his head of hair.
but
He's got a thick
be
luscious
specific.
head.
What don't you like that I'm talking about?
Brian Hench, what don't you like?
Yeah, they never respond to that. They just yell, but then they don't tell you what they're yelling about.
Yeah.
I'm just getting fed up with what's going on around there.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
Nothing I can do. I just email people and they don't get back to you. They don't
Just
care.
send that picture into the police, Maryland Heights Police.
No, I've called the police and I said there's cars here with no plates, no temp tags, no nothing. They could be stolen. They could be abandoned. Can you check?
Yeah.
They said we can't. It's private property.
That's hard to believe, isn't it?
No. Well, it is private
You
property.
steal something and you take it home, okay, the police are out. They can't do anything about it. It's private property.
I don't know. It's just
That can't be the case. I mean, you get tickets all the time when your car is parked on private property.
I say
Not
every-
all the
I
time,
say
but it
every
can
day.
happen.
I say every day. I should just let little things stop bothering me, but I don't know. It's one thing after another in this place.
I suppose it is possible to take the license plates off your car if you're going to change them or something. If you don't put them right back on, I don't think the police are going to be interested in that.
It's been there for weeks.
Where do you think they got these cars?
I don't know. That's kind of confusing to me. I mean, you can't go to a dealership and get a car without temp tags. They're going to put temp tags in your car.
You'd think.
You can't just go and, just take it. You don't need temp tags, take it. I don't know where the cars are coming from. That's what's confusing to me. Are they stolen? That's the whole point of me is...
You live in a chop shop.
Are they stolen cars? Because I don't know how they're getting cars with no temp tags.
Maybe they'll steal your plates.
They must have stolen one because I saw one. There were like 4 cars with no tags, no plates. One day gets a plate on her, and the plates expire in a month. They're not temp tags. It's a license plate that says expires October of 2023. Who's giving you a plate that's going to expire in a month?
I don't know.
Doug Brian Henson is asked the question where he was saying, what the F what? Pot roast. These people don't pay for their license plates and tags and stuff. Also pot roast. Well, I don't pay for my license plate and tags and stuff.
Well, that's because I have...
What in the name of incestual three-ways is happening right now?
I have a
So
legal
Brian Henson-
car. I have plates on my car. Thanks to Munganass. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, they pay.
Brian, do you have any other questions?
Yeah,
I think your hair is
I have no problem if they got a
jealous
car
of
from
it.
somebody else and drive. I'm sure they have other people's cars they're driving, friends' cars that are in there,
Yeah.
but they have plates. These cars have nothing.
I know. Henson's pretty young to be having all the trouble with his hair.
That Colts quarterback situation will do it to you. My great-grandfather was 96 and rambles like this. We put him in a home and took his sherry away at night. Seemed to fix things. That's from Dimitri Sokolatu.
Oh. I don't like Sherry.
I am so much dumber after listening to this show today. Holy hell, Boots! Smiley Hills Hustler.
What made you dumber by
You
talking
did
about
say you didn't know-
plates?
You did say it about the nouns and pronouns. I
Yeah.
think that's still this segment too.
And
by the
despite
way.
my little lesson, he still didn't quite get it.
Well, yeah, but we're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about this.
Well,
License
said this
plate. What would that
segment.
be?
He said
License
this
plate. Is that a noun, a verb, or an adjective?
Well, that's a thing. So, noun.
Okay, very good.
I just don't get how that makes you dumber. I mean, maybe I'm dumb. I don't know how you can do that.
No.
Explain to me how you can ride around with no plates and nobody cares.
It certainly doesn't make any of us smarter.
No.
I don't know if it makes us dumber.
I mean, is there a law that I'm missing? Because when I get a car, I'm just driving with no plates.
I think a lot of the police are overwhelmed right now, and license plates are near the bottom of their priority list.
This is why you need to run for mayor, Eggs.
Yeah, but I don't think they know that because they're not from here, so they wouldn't know what's going on in our country. That nobody cares about plates. I mean, they care about expired plates. They don't care about expired plates or expired temp tags. But I would think they would think something with no plate at all.
These are the same people that sat in your lounge chairs.
Yeah, some of them.
Oh, so that's really the genesis of all this.
No, the genesis is there's just one thing after another,
Yeah.
and this is just something else that's just going on and nobody cares.
Well, we advised you not to sign that lease to get out of that place.
We did give you that counsel.
You did. Well, you give me a lot of advice, Tim. Like, don't go to the man and woman, but you went anyway.
Well, everyone knew that.
Well, you live in a large apartment complex. You're going to see a little bit of everything, and it's right in your face. You live in a neighborhood. If the neighbor 2 or 3 doors down is a kook, it doesn't really affect you. But an apartment building, when they're 5 feet away and the car's parked right next to yours, then it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I try to just not let things bother me. Like yesterday.
It seems like the opposite.
No, this is more than a little thing. This is more than a little thing. It's
Just the license
It's the
plate?
entire building. No.
Oh.
But yesterday I was driving home, and some guy goes flying by me doing like 60. It was on 70. You know, you got the right lane for 70 east and the left lane. Well, I guess next to that is regular traffic, and the guy thought there were too many backed up cars. So he got in the right lane to go 70 east and went flying by me doing like 90 and then swerved over in front of me to get over. I think to myself, idiot.
Oh.
And then I thought to myself, I do the same thing. Why am I yelling at him?
You do that to drivers too?
Self-awareness. That was great.
So I said, you know what? I do the same thing. How can I get mad at this guy when I do the exact same thing?
You cut the line? You speed up and cut the line and
I don't
veer over onto an exit right at the last minute?
Yeah, but there's plenty of room in front of me. I don't go up when there's
But you do that.
What he did yesterday, yes. If there's nobody in front of me, you know, there's 10 car lengths in front of me and you can get over without cutting me off, yeah. But when you keep going up and up and up as far as you can and then make everybody else stop because you got to cut it at the last minute and cut a car off and everybody's got to stop, I don't agree with that. I don't do that. But if there's room on the right, and you're not supposed to pass on the right, but there's plenty of room, and you're not going to cut anybody off, hell yeah, I do it. So I caught myself. I said, why am I mad? I do the same thing.
Yeah. When somebody does that, just let it go. The only thing you need to do when you're driving is get safely from point A to point B. If someone gets there before you, it's not a big deal.
Doug Von Nirvana.
Yeah, I've learned that. I've never really had road rage, but I would get upset at people cutting me off and things like that. I didn't let it bother me anymore. If it cut me off, I just, no problem.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
Just
Go
get there
ahead.
without wrecking. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm very careful now because it's not my car, so I'm very careful driving. I might hooped you, I didn't care.
Well, that thing disintegrated right in your hands.
Yeah, it evaporated. You were holding the steering wheel.
That'd be a great picture of me just sitting on 270 holding a steering wheel. Yeah, see if you can get to that one, D-Bear.
Doug, here's what I would recommend doing. Going to Glenn Betts Jewelers. That's Craig Betts. That's David Betts. That's Glenn Betts Jewelers in business in St. Louis since 1941, operated by the third and fourth generation of the Betts family. The Glenn Betts difference is you are served personally, not sold. Glenn Betts Jewelers develops relationships through generations of your family as well, and they get to know your likes, your lifestyle, and who and what you love. The 3 L's. It's GlennBettsJewelers.com, GLENNBETZ, Jewelers.com. Located 1 mile east of 270 on Manchester and Pear. In the jewelry business, there is good, better, and then there is Betts. The Betts family passion for serving their customers has been passed down from generation to generation. That is Glenn. And Glenn Betts Jewelers, Craig and David Betts on Manchester. Oh, I would say about a mile east of the I-270 and Manchester exit, and that's in Pear. And you can park in the back, and it couldn't be any more convenient. Guys, this is like the final days of Andy Rooney, an old guy complaining about stuff in a rambling monologue that few people can follow. It's from Manupal Eligible. You try not to let things bother you. You bitch about the most petty things to us every day. Gosh, these people from other countries don't abide by laws. Did I tell you that I run the red light daily in front of my place of business? That's from Ernie Bjorkman. That's how you're supposed to merge. It's called zipper merging. The issue that caused the backup is people merging too early. Go to the end of the lane. You're in. Then you merge. That's from Don and his last name Shanka.
Shanka? Well, he's new. Don Shanka?
That's correct.
Why, he's new.
So Iggy Don Shanka says you're doing the right thing.
Well, at least somebody agrees with me.
It's aggravating to some people to have someone bypass the line and go right up to the exit and squeeze in at the last second. Some people get really, really hopping mad about that.
Yeah. I mean, I used to, but now I don't care anymore. But, you know, as far as running red lights, I mean, Creve Coeur, you can do something about that. Change that light. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say that I think last week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, there were 2 cars. One car, and then I was the second car behind it. There's not a car in sight.
This was on Olive trying to turn into the radio station.
We've been at that light for a good 90 seconds. Not a car in sight.
No.
And then the light went yellow. I said, oh, my God. I just went around him and ran it.
He's had enough. He's had enough.
I went around him and ran it.
I don't know.
I parked in front that day because I think they were doing something with the curb in the back with all the vans out there. So I parked in the front. By the time I got out of my car, walked past the fountain to the door, the car was still at the light.
At the red light.
I was in the building and the car was still at the red light.
Really?
So I'm running it.
Well,
Is that going to get pulled over or is that a hijack? I don't know what that is.
It's designed for everyone's safety.
Yeah, but there's not a car in sight. What safety is it? Nobody's going to hit me. I don't see a car. All the way down past McDonald's, there's no car coming.
You know what I'm guessing? There must have been a huge mass accident at that intersection previously. That's the only light that I can actually think of.
The one out in front of our building?
Yeah, that you can't merge on a green. There's on
You
a
mean
left.
yield.
Yield on a green. I've never seen a light anywhere, and there had to be a huge casualty mass accident there to change that.
Yeah,
But
I mean-
there's no other explanation for not being able to.
It's a 35 mile per hour, and there's like that turn. Anytime there's like a bank like that where it's kind of tougher to see. When I say bank, I mean bank in the road, not an actual bank. I feel like, and it's a pretty long turn. That's pretty dangerous. So I sit at it every day. Maybe I'm a
I run
a
it.
pigeon.
Oh, Mark ass Buster, huh?
I run it.
But I would rather sit there for 90 seconds every day.
Doug,
than
I
get
just take
pulled over
Lindbergh.
once.
I take Lindbergh, and then I get on to Olive, and then that way I have the right turn off of Olive
right?
into Hubbard, and that is how I don't go on 270 anymore. And it's a more relaxing, and I think it might be quicker drive. Maybe you would try it.
Could be.
I tried
Well, I'm
it from
farther
64, and it's not quicker.
Maybe I'll try it. I'll just
That would be longer
go
for
10
you.
miles out of my way just so I don't have
That
to
would
wait.
be longer.
But I don't wait for the light. If I had to wait for that light, I probably would go 10 miles out of my way.
It's not that long of a
It'd probably be
light.
cheaper or quicker.
Oh, come on.
It's like at most a minute a day.
KG in O-Town says, FYI, there was an employee email saying that the front spaces were for retail only.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
You're not a rule follower, are you?
No, I did that one day. I don't think they're sending out an email for one day when we were supposed to park there because we couldn't park in the back because of the curb work.
Well, you can still park
I guess
in
you
the
didn't get that
garage.
email.
Yeah,
You
park in
just-
the garage.
I guess you didn't get that email.
There's the part-time employees, and there's the full-time employees email list. Is that what?
Can part-time employees park in front?
I don't know.
Tim passes my Chinooks at Olive and Lindbergh every day. This is the best news ever. That's from Mud Puppy.
Oh, come on.
Olive and Lindbergh.
Just stand out there and wave at them.
Oh, the Schnucks, right. Wait.
Doug, is there a Chinooks at
Yeah,
Olive?
yeah.
Yeah, there is.
We always call it the old people Schnucks.
I'm always afraid if I run that red light that the popo's going to catch
Right,
me
that's
and
what I'm
charge
saying.
me about $150 for a moving violation.
That's why-
I don't need it, frankly.
That's why I sit there like a mark.
I think
Yeah.
most of them know who I am.
Finally, the siren returns. Viva la Plowboy. That's from Brad, and he's in Boca.
Viva la Plowboy.
I was Cal May protege for years. Who is Don Shanka? Doug, that's from Don Shanka.
I didn't. What? It says Cal May Protege on my thing.
Does it really?
Yeah.
It says Don Shanka on mine. Iggy, would you like to vouch for it? Don Shanka.
I believe it.
I don't know who the hell he is.
I've got him blocked on the.
Have you?
You do? This is a real guy?
Yeah, he's the one that emails in. I get the external emails, and I've blocked all those people.
And
now.
it's
I don't have-
Don Shanka?
I don't have to read
Really?
them. Yeah, I remember that name. I think it's because we talked about this guy from Our Lads Scouting. His name is Don Shanka. I think he stole that name.
Oh, is that like the football almanac?
Yeah, they come out every year with the depth chart after the drafts, and I always use it for fantasy purposes. The draft depth charts, and for our radio shows we did, they wanted to know. But the guy who put that on Our Lads, it was named Don Shanka. Joining us now is Don Shanka from Our Lads.
It's kind of a catchy name, really.
KG in O-Town has sent in a screenshot of the email that says...
Yeah, we all got the email. What do you just
Okay,
think
don't
you're
blow
bragging?
up.
Hey, I got the email too. I must be an employee.
Don't blow up, Eddie.
I get all the emails, and I don't even need IT department to let me into my email once a month.
Yeah, well, you don't get many emails because you really don't work here.
No, he doesn't have a mom.
He'll be in next Friday because Jackson's vacationing in upstate Illinois.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody needs to be off for him to come into work.
I'll be off.
That's
that whole
like
week.
when
You're off all next week? I thought it was a following
No,
week.
following week. Yeah, so that
It's
So
like
he'll be
when-
in. You'll see a lot of MIGs.
we call the 101 guy come in to do the board op when Plowsy couldn't work.
Good morning, Grant.
Yeah, it was an employee for us. He didn't work for TMA.
He's gonna be more popular than us. Though.
Grant's the man. Good morning.
Grant is pretty good,
Grant's
Dan.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, he was running the Islanders broadcast from St. Louis. And he was like 12.
Nobody in the city of New York could pull that off.
Small city.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody
Right.
Good Morning Grant, that's for sure. It's my
Right.
guy.
Guys, is it am I Don Chunka or Don Shanka?
Yeah, is it C or
the way
S?
that it's spelled is SHONK A in the text inbox.
That
So
sounds
somebody
like
is
Shanka.
changing names, Jackson?
Nah, it would only ever be me.
But your computer is showing a different name and my computer is showing Don Shanka.
But sometimes it does that. Like, Every other day, it's either Scott's wrinkled ball sack or Scott's wrinkled nutsack.
Right.
Like, I don't know. So I think that's just kind of what it is. We've had very good fortune with this new text line we've had since we've come to Hubbard.
Yeah.
So if this is the one issue, I'll take that all day. Because there used to be problems with the text line being down or other things.
Yeah.
This has been very effective.
So we got to be happy about that.
Yeah, well, I'm thrilled.
I just like to take inventory sometimes of our resources, and this is a good one.
Okay.
My resource is Jeff Lottman at JEFFLOTTMANN.com. That's JEFFLOTTMANN.com. Yeah, I think is he calling in today?
I thought that was going to start next week.
Next week.
Let me recheck that email, but I was not.
Well, either way, if you're looking to buy a home or sell a home, work with Jeff Lottman. He's with Compass Realty. Made the switch to Compass Realty to give St. Louis a luxury experience. And Jeff has been selling real estate in St. Louis for 22 years. Recently, a Wall Street Journal feature on him for selling one of the most expensive homes in St. Louis history. And if you are looking to sell your home or you're looking to buy a home, he has connections not just in St. Louis, but throughout the world because of Compass Realty. I know Jeff, I like Jeff, and if you're looking to buy a home, this is a unique time in real estate history, so you want to work with somebody with experience who knows the market. It's Jeff Lottman at JEFFLOTTMANN.com. Yeah. Send your emails in, Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. That is coming your way in a matter of moments. In 23 minutes, and then Jackson and I are going to go down the hallway. We'll deal with it. Here we go.
Won't be easy for you.
Yeah. Jackson, what's coming up on Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota's presentation of Balloon Party?
Well, Tim, you asked such a great question there.
Oh, gosh.
We're going to have, I got another deep dive question. I'm really liking this half and half I'm working on at the moment.
Uh-oh, Doug.
And then we'll obviously
What is
take
that?
deep dive requests from the listeners, and it's just going to be another hour of magic on 101.1.
Sounds like, now that was word salad. I'm working on this. We'll see what the callers have. That was word salad.
Well, what would you prefer on the show, Doug?
A very rigid outline that you're going to follow.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
Talking about, first of all, would the NBA work in St. Louis?
So here, we'll hit all four. We'll go, would the NBA work in St. Louis in the first segment? And if we can get that done, then we
Rules
can go.
changes for soccer.
Rule
Could the
changes for
dogs
soccer.
beat Man City?
Sure. We'll go Mizzou uniforms in the third segment.
Ooh, I like that.
And then the fourth segment, we'll do like a mailbag.
Mailbag.
I like that.
Okay.
Clausing coming
That's
and talk
better.
soccer if you want.
Wouldn't mind nothing.
Oh, I want to go home.
Doug, we'll have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today coming up. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I'm with a great sponsor of TMA, and that's Longo Biggs of the Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. People are starting to head out now. It is summertime, but that means an increase in car accidents.
Hey guys, like Tim just said, summer is finally here, and that means there's more people on the roadways. And you might be going to a Cardinals game, or maybe you're headed home from taking your buddy's money on the golf course. But with increased traffic on the roads, it also means a higher likelihood for car accidents. If you get in an accident, contact our firm immediately. We've successfully handled a countless number of car, motorcycle, and truck accidents. And if you go to our website, you will see we have received awards for doing so. We will make the process easy for you while maximizing the compensation you receive. Go to our website or Google Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hello, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that Rosalita's Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalita's is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalita's has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, and let Rosalita's cater your next event. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Check out listener rewards on the new TMA mobile app. Watch the show live on the TMA studio cams. Find it at TMASTL.com. Get the podcast on the TMA app. Download it now.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Okay.
Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever. Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you or fake you or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro and the Morning After on KPNT HD2. Hey, if you like the Morning After, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's sports talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the Morning After. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN. Or get the podcast on the TMA app.
When we think of a real estate agent, we think of somebody simply selling our home or finding us a new one. I mean, they're all the same, right?
Okay, here's the comps. We'll take some pics, we'll post them, and I'll get back to you, okay?
A home is life-changing, and your real estate agent should reflect that. Honesty, integrity, and someone who will go above and beyond to make your dreams come true.
The Jeff Lotman Group with Compass Realty. We're different because you're different. We want what you want. Experience the difference today at JeffLotman.com, bringing people and properties together.
All right, here we go. Here's something new. Announcing the first ever TMA Hit and Giggle. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Benefiting the Megan Meyer Foundation. Friday, October 6th at Family Golf and Learning Center. It's a 9-hole par 3 tournament full of threesomes. Oh, geez. And it's a walking course, so if you're a walrus, start getting in shape. Your $55 ticket includes 9 holes, beer from Mich Ultra, and lunch or dinner depending on your tee time. Plus shipping and putting contests for our degenerate gamblers. You'll also get to see Iggy's Long Drive Challenge. Brought to you by Souder Appraisal. Can he hit it 210, 220, maybe 223? Who knows? But it should be a fun day no matter what. The first ever TMA Hit and Giggle. Brought to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. Better than ever for you, their customer. And Family Golf and Learning Center. They make St. Louis better at golf. Visit FamilyGolfOnline.com. Tickets are on sale now. Get all of the Hit and Giggle info now at TMASTL.com. You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. Featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. And another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com. The most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
105.7 HD2, the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Marvin Van Buren, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, James K. Polk, Zachary Taylor. Boom! Phyllis Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Haynes, James Garfield, Chester Arthur, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison. Boom! Grover Cleveland, William McKinley, Teddy Roosevelt, William Howard Taft.
Boom!
Woodrow Wilson, Warren G. Harding, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, FDR, Harry S. Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, JFK, Lyndon B. Johnson, Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama.
Is this a song that needed to be recorded? This is the list. This is simply a list.
George Washington, Cherry Tree, John Adams, HBO Show, Thomas Jefferson, Louisiana Purchase,
HBO Show.
James Madison,
Like if John Adams could fast forward in time to 250 years later and hear his legacy as HBO Show.
What about Washington, the first president, and he's known for a cherry tree, dude? What he's done for the country and the cherry tree.
Probably the most important American of all time, I would think.
Up there?
You ever see Chasey Lane's oil scene? She's from
No.
North Carolina. You sound like an idiot.
Got much Delaware. Got much more respect for him after watching the John Adams little docu-series there. With,
There you go, back to the John Adams thing.
I suppose if we didn't win the war in 1776, sooner or later we'd have done it again and won. Right? The English couldn't have occupied us forever.
Yeah, but that second go-around
Well, they came back in 1812 and they burned that White House.
Yeah.
You ever been to the White House and you see where they left it up there from the...
I've been there. I don't remember seeing the burn mark.
Yeah, they show they still have the burn marks. Have you seen
Mhm.
that, Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Is that real?
DC was one of the coolest.
Yeah.
Photoshop.
DC is one of the coolest trips.
Oh, hell yeah. I've been there
really
twice.
My wife's heading there tomorrow with our 1-year-old. I can't. I'm missing a TMA Hit and Giggle meeting that they're scheduled at 11:15. I said I got to go right to home to pick up my wife, son, get them to the airport.
There's some
30 flight.
There's some amazing restaurants there in the Georgetown area. Highly recommend, for sure. I love it.
Yeah, Georgetown's cool.
It's
They were mad at me on Balloon Party.
What, because you're leaving?
Doing something different. No, because I'm breathing.
Oh yeah,
And
that is a problem.
And they, how come you're not going to your son's baptism? So it's not my son's baptism, and while I probably will at some point reside in Washington D.C. just because it's inevitable, I will.
You'll be in Congress.
I'll be in Congress. I agree with you. At the moment, we don't. So my wife is going to her cousin's son's baptism. Since my wife's an
Well,
only
that's on
child,
you.
her cousin is like a sister to her.
Mhm.
And so it's a chance for the families to hang out. So I will be at home with our 6-year-old this weekend and his hockey skates at 7 a.m.
That's a close-knit family. You can pay me to go to a cousin's son's baptism in Washington.
Oh, DC is a blast, man.
Yeah, it's a great. If you haven't been there, you have to
We've
go.
flown once and driven once.
I've been there.
You got to walk around and see the government buildings and everything there.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the memorials are really nice. The
Wouldn't wanna
Vietnam
live there,
memorial is
but,
really good.
No, I wouldn't want to live there either, but it's this place that you really need to visit once or twice.
Unless you're a politician, you live in those places in Georgetown and have money. It's a pretty crappy city. Pretty dangerous city.
Yeah.
It's expensive, man.
Well, they all are anymore.
Well, Washington was a good president, though. Getting back to
Honor
that.
our country.
We stayed in a nice little, like, petite hotel called Yours Truly downtown there.
Yours Truly, really?
Petite
Isn't
hotel.
that really
You mean a
an-
boutique?
Yeah, it was a smaller yet very fancy hotel.
Boutique.
Super nice room.
Hostile?
Yours Truly. No, it wasn't a hostel.
Hostile.
Hostile.
That's a whole different word.
I'm going back to the noun, verb, adjective thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it's working for us.
There it is on Hampshire Avenue, on New Hampshire Avenue there.
He's a very irresponsible president, though.
Washington was irresponsible? How so?
You don't stand up in the front of a boat.
What?
Crossing the Delaware, he's standing up in the front of the boat.
He wouldn't have been president at that time.
Well, what's that picture of him standing in the front of the boat?
He was the general of the army.
Well, you don't
Yo,
stand
check
up
out
in boats,
these
sit in-
bathrooms at Yours Truly. That's what
Look
we
at that,
stayed
Doug.
in. Hello.
Two different conversations going on. I don't know where we are.
We're all over the place.
I love this.
Looking
Oh.
at pictures of a boutique hotel bathroom while talking about Washington crossing the Delaware, making a bad president because he stood up in a boat.
Right.
First time that's ever happened in radio.
Well, it
sorry,
wasn't a country at that point, right? So he wasn't the president.
Could he swim?
Probably so.
Continental Congress
I don't know.
made him president, right? Like he was done with the war, and then they were like, "You're president." He's like, okay.
Who were the two lovers that discovered, like, created maps and discovered
Created maps.
Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and Clark?
Lovers.
They didn't create maps.
Oh, they definitely, they were, dude,
they made
come
maps of the
on,
western
bro.
part of the United States.
And
but
Doug, they were lovers?
They weren't
There's
lovers.
no possible way you can't go that long without any physical contact of any kind.
Well, one of them met a Native American woman on the way, right?
It's a cute story, but I don't believe it.
Oh.
But they get a lot of credit for a lot of other, didn't they have people with them that did most of the
Sacagawea.
work? And they kind of just reaped all the
I'm sure they all had
rewards?
to do work just to survive it. I don't think they were sitting in the back of a
Kinda
club car with their
overrated,
feet up.
But it's all right.
Those are rugged men. Can you imagine doing that?
Don't you ever-
1804?
Don't you ever think, Plowsy, when you're camping and you're hiking, and you think, yeah, Lewis and Clark probably stepped right here.
I never thought about that. I think it would be a cool venture to do, and creating maps in the country, that'd be awesome.
So you want to create a map today or anything?
But I
Well,
think
they're
they
already
may
there.
have gotten too much credit.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, why?
Because they didn't do all the work.
Well, Columbus is the one who got all the credit. He did nothing. I mean,
There's two different
This
things
land was found.
completely. Two different things entirely.
I actually think they
Well, they
go
were both
well
explorers,
together.
right?
Yeah.
Lewis and Clark were told to map the western part of the United States. Try to find a way to get from the middle of the country to the Pacific Ocean.
And all their
See what's out
Bobos
there.
did everything. All they did was
How do you
provide the
know?
boat. I've
Couldn't anybody
read.
just-
I'm a history minor.
couldn't anybody just walk west until they ran into something?
How is it possible to create a
You
map?
should just walk west.
Like-
How long do you think you'd live back then?
How did they know the square miles of like?
They didn't. That's why they were there. They were looking to see what was out there.
But then they drew an accurate map.
Because they were smart, brilliant men.
Good morning. I would love to be penetrated by a mountain man.
Huh. The smell on that boat has
Nice
got to
to
be
know.
ungodly, though.
What do you got against Magellan?
Please, for the love of God, make this stop. That's
Oh.
from Jabab the bookie.
Well, we got a nice little history lesson.
You're
We
not
learned a little
learning
grammar
anything?
earlier.
Oh, we're trying to teach you things here.
I didn't see Lewis and Clark taking a beating here today. I thought what they did was fabulous for the nation.
They got nothing on soccer.
Didn't Thomas Jefferson decide to buy the whole western part of the United States after their trip?
I think it was. Didn't he buy it and then they went and discussed?
Yeah, I guess that was it. They bought it and said, all right, what do we got? What do we just buy?
Yeah, he bought it from France and then
Yeah.
they assigned Lewis and Clark to go.
Started in St. Charles.
All right, chocolate.
So France found it before Lewis and Clark did.
Who
Well,
bartered
the
the
Native Americans found it generations before anyone actually
Well,
found
they
it.
found everything, and then Columbus just stole it from him. Said he found it. It was already found. There were people living there.
Who bartered the deal for the Louisiana Purchase?
Thomas Jefferson.
That guy's up there.
Are you just learning this?
That's a big get.
You got it for a good price.
That was like the steal of it. That was like beyond Goldschmidt and Arenado deal.
Yeah,
that
it's
was
even
just
better.
Well,
Mount Rushmore of deals.
That's got to be number
Nolan
one,
Arenado,
right? You got
Thomas Jefferson.
got a whole half of the country for what? Pennies?
I think France needed the money to fund a war they were in.
And then they get a bunch of wheat.
A wheat?
What did they get in exchange for Louisiana?
France? I think money to fund a war they were in.
Yeah. Man, I bet they look back.
Yeah, they'd like to
I
have
bet
that one
they
back.
look- that's a
Yeah.
huge miss.
Well, there again, we'd have taken it from them ultimately anyway.
That's what we typically do.
Well, that's what every country does. Unless you're going to, if you're going to invade a country, unless you're going to stay there forever, the inhabitants are going to keep fighting. I mean, we learned that in Vietnam. We learned that in Afghanistan. It's just the way it is. If you're not willing to stay there forever, they're going to keep fighting you. And the British would have learned that, and the French would have learned that in the western part of the country.
Chris Raby's texting in.
No, what's he say?
Mr. Pepper and Mr. Genie, what you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to.
Great movie.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Well, again, what were we talking about that made no sense to you?
From one of the best lines in a movie, Billy Madison. Fantastic.
Well, it was time somebody held Lewis and Clark's feet to the fire.
Well, my history, if
I'm just saying, like
they had it coming.
if I remember my history, then you can go ahead and correct me if you'd like, Raby. This will probably make you more.
This will be
This
interesting.
will make him smarter.
What is it?
I think Jefferson bought the Louisiana Purchase from Napoleon I think it was like $20 million, $21 million maybe.
I guess it'd be easy enough to look it up.
15.
Well, I'm not going to look it up. But
No, I wouldn't think you'd go to that
15
trouble.
million.
and it had to go through a bunch of different banks and to get the money.
15
million?
How much would that be today in today's money? $1 billion?
Yeah, I mean, crazy. Here, I'll look it up.
198 million is my guess.
I'll take the over.
For the Louisiana Purchase?
Yeah.
No, it was around 20 million. I
No,
think.
I'm 15, but we're talking
15.
about what that would be nowadays.
Yeah.
I think it was more than 15 though.
I just read.
He just looked it up.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It doesn't go back that far. Like, I can't go back to the 1800s to pull this information.
Okay.
Inflation doesn't.
No.
There you go, Raby. I bet you didn't know that. I didn't
just
either,
know-
I guess. I said 20 million was 15, so I didn't know it either.
15 million in 1800 is equivalent to purchasing power to about 365 million today.
365. All right.
And
Or
I-
about
Dollar
what you'd
average
pay for,
inflation
about
of
what you pay for a good
1.44%.
pitcher. A good pitcher.
Yeah,
Free agent pitcher.
we got Scherzer,
Yeah.
Did he get a
and
good
it's
deal?
worked out well.
Think he got a good deal there? 15 million?
I bet at the time they're like, we just sold this plot of land, dirt for nothing, and now they're looking. They got LSU.
I just wish Lewis and Clark had kept their noses out of it. A couple of Badinskis.
I just think they got a lot of praise with no flack. Sorry.
Well, why would they get flack?
Adam Wainwright had a great Cardinal career, but you can still point out 2023 was a nightmare. It doesn't
what
mean
did
he's
they
not a
do
great
wrong?
pitcher.
What did Lewis and Clark do wrong?
They didn't give enough credit to all the minions that they carried along with their boat to do all the work.
Well, do we know that for sure?
No. But no way two people can do what they just did. There's no way.
Well, I'm sure they had help, but
Well, Sacagawea. But she had to have friends.
well, I'm sure they did. I'm sure there was lots of people involved. But as the leaders, they got most of the credit. Just as the leader in the military would get most of the credit in a battle it's won.
Yeah, Patton got all the credit for World War II. He didn't really do much. Soldiers did it all.
Took like all of Italy.
Yeah, he didn't. The soldiers did.
Okay.
His crew did, yeah. Bill Belichick didn't win those Super Bowls. Tom Brady did.
He wasn't even supposed to. I think the English were supposed to get there first. He forego in a battle to go there first so he could drive through the city and overtake it. He wasn't even supposed to be there.
My dad was in Patton's army.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Was he in Italy?
He was in Italy for some. North Africa and then Italy.
Wow.
Not on the ground. He was in the Army Air Corps.
And they sent Patton on D-Day. They sent him to England as a decoy. I think that's what.
I think so.
The play. And that really pissed him off.
Mm-hmm.
George C. Scott, University of Missouri.
That's right. Wasn't he from Kansas City?
Played the role of Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, probably his biggest role.
Ebenezer Scrooge?
Over Patton?
I'd say
No,
Patton.
Patton.
Oh, yeah. Would agree. He is from Wise, Virginia.
Really? Well, what was
Probably
he doing at Mizzou?
Journalism major, probably.
Oh, God.
All successful
They
people
went-
typically
he
do
moved
have
to
that journalism major.
Detroit, enlisted in the Marine Corps, and then after the Marines, he enrolled in the University of Missouri on the GI Bill.
How about that?
Okay.
Right after Patton, he did a movie that it just made no sense for him to do. It was a movie about his daughter got kidnapped.
Hardcore?
Yeah, where
Gross.
he became a fake porn producer, trying to find his daughter. He thought his daughter was sold into porn.
Ugh, that movie.
So he's doing all of these fake interviews to ask if you ever worked with this girl before, trying to find her. These guys come in. All right, yeah. Do you know this girl? What, man? Do you want to see my stuff? What? Do you want me to see my stuff? The guy just pulls it out. That's nice. Okay. It was just kind of a creepy role for him.
Dude, people hate this show today. But I feel like there's sarcasm to their texts as well.
It's been very educational, this show. It's like we got, 5 history teachers here just spitting our game.
The crazy thing is I did get a history minor.
Did you really?
Yeah, but I knew I wasn't going to use that long term, so sometimes those things just...
So why did you get it?
At the time, I didn't know what I wanted to do in terms of my minor, so I picked it, and it was the worst because it was very informative, but in the classes, you read about a 150, 200-page novel every week, write a 5 to 7-page paper on it, and that was every week for almost the entire semester.
200-page novel? It's not very long.
No, they were based on specific things like the Chicago fires and how employment law changed and that after that, and all that specific event style novels.
I'd have rather done that than some of the stuff we had to do.
I know, it's
We had
tough.
to take shop class. It wasn't
Not in college.
High school. We had to take shop class.
Well, that's important.
I had to learn how to... I built a hockey net that fell apart at the first shot on goal. The thing just collapsed.
Well, it's important to learn how to do some things, isn't it?
I'd have rather learned other things than how to hit a 2x4 with a nail.
Oh, you hit the nail with the hammer. You don't hit the 2x4 with the nail.
We didn't.
I can see you didn't do very well in that class.
We didn't have hammers in Brentwood. We had to use the 2x4 to hammer it into a 2x4.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a shame they've cut out shop class for so many kids in school.
Now, home ec, I can see. Everybody should know how to cook. When I see people that don't know how to cook, it infuriates me.
Yeah, well, don't get mad. It would be nice to be able to do some basic home repair, too, wouldn't it?
That's why I live in an apartment for 100 years. I don't have to do that.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I beat that one to death. Anything else?
No. I think your education speaks for itself.
I've gotten by.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get an address for game night? I'm into dusty old men who smoke a lot and don't pay for their license plates. That's from Crystal Martin.
Oh, she wants to come
goes by
over.
Stephen Wildwood.
Have we confirmed that Crystal is like a bot in Asia, or have we not gone deeper into that yet?
She's a real person.
Real?
Yeah, I'll call her. I'll DM her, see if she wants to come on tomorrow.
Oh,
that'd be wonderful.
I'd short that play, but I'd love it.
Can't wait to have him on.
Damn, yeah.
Would you like to have her on?
Oh,
I'll say, people think
we got a lot going on.
Who cares?
People
Yeah,
think
have
you're
a
fake
call.
on the show. I brought you up on the show. People think you're fake. Do you want to come on and just say hi to everybody?
Didn't we have Princess Fierce Adbot on?
Yeah, we did. I proved everybody wrong there.
Fierce ad
Well, the ad bot at the end of it clearly made it.
Well, she did that as a
thing.
joke because people thought she was a bot. So she said ad bot. But
Couldn't
people
you
thought
just-
she was fake. I got her on and we knew she was real.
Couldn't you just get any girl to call up and say, yeah, it's me, I'm Crystal, yes, I'm real?
Well, why don't you go to her Facebook page, look at her profile, and ask her a question only she would know.
I don't want to.
Well, then quit bitching about it.
Oh. Okay, well, we'll look forward to that tomorrow. If we can take a brief respite from our history lessons.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Dillian either. I wished her happy birthday, texted her happy birthday, never got back to me.
Oh, she's ghosted you.
No, I think she was drunk when she called me, so.
She pocket dialed you is what she did.
Yeah, she pocket dialed me for an hour and a half.
She continued to pocket dial you that long?
No, that's how long we talked.
Oh. And then she ghosted you after that?
I don't know. She hasn't gotten back to me.
Huh. That's not very
You think
sporting.
you at least she'd say thank you for a happy birthday wish. I think maybe what happened is her boyfriend came home, and that's why
Leo.
the call ended very abruptly.
Is that Leo?
I thought maybe as her phone died. I'm guessing her boyfriend came home. She
That
hung,
Wolf?
she hung up. He checked her phone.
Who's her boyfriend?
Some dude she's dating.
But is it Leo or Wolf?
Because she said she wanted to learn
Small
to play.
hands?
She said she wanted to learn to play golf. I said, "Well, come to St. Louis, stay for a week, and we'll just play some golf and hang out." And she goes, "I've got 3 dogs that I would have to dump at my mom's house." I said, "Oh, just dump them off." She goes, "I got a boyfriend too." I said, "Well, dump him at your mom's too."
Oh, just to let you know, we'll just do this on air. I can't find the email of the day bed.
No.
Well,
Hold
we
on,
don't
I
have.
think I can find it.
Okay, we don't have hotkeys. We had a lot
have the
of
hotkey
issues, so we've been playing it off the board. I've played the open, but I cannot find the email.
Is it not in the elements section, Plowhawk?
I will take a gander.
Chris Raby says, Doug, to be fair, it would be hard for something as big as Dillian to disappear.
Damn.
That's not
Kind of like
very-
that stealth fighter
That
jet.
really got.
That's really not very nice.
That was
Wasn't that a weird story when that
still funny though.
fighter jet disappeared? Dropped
Yeah.
out of the sky and disappeared for a while?
The fact that they can fly on their own for that long, obviously not successful, but
Yeah.
there'd be a time where I bet they land on their own too. You could probably control it manually and try to land it.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well spend billions on that. We already give it to NASA anyways.
You won't spend billions with James Carlton. He's online at carltoninsurance.net, Doug, and he's my insurance agent. He's the Plowhawks insurance agent. We'd like him to become everybody's insurance agent, because if that were the case, everybody would be really happy with their insurance agent, because there is a difference. Not all insurance agents are the same, and having made the switch from my old insurance agent to James Carlton and what that customer service they provide, now I see it firsthand, experience it, and I'm thrilled that I did. It's James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency in Webster Grove's, big supporter of the University of Missouri football team, especially here in 2023. And he presents the Colonel every Monday on TMA and every Friday on Balloon Party. James Carlton, 314-961-4800, to go online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton. State Farm. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 9:51 in St. Louis, and it is September 21st, 2023. It's a show that has been for the ages. And ladies and gentlemen, coming in to celebrate it is Jackson Burkett.
Well, I see him there. Oh, Jackson.
Zachary Taylor.
Oh, no, we got problems.
No, Oh, you emailed it.
It smells like we've got problems.
No, it's just I like to have the bed.
Jackson, stop your dancing.
Oh, you dancing?
Yes, look at
Yes,
him.
I see him. He's wearing his Holderness and Born Longo Big shirt. It's a handsome
Dude,
shirt.
I got mine in the wash.
It's a great shirt, isn't it? Those crisp Holderness and Borns.
Madison was really jealous.
Was she really?
Yeah.
She didn't get one, did she?
Well, she knows I'm going to go to Riverside and flaunt that. And
Oh,
everybody
really?
in their denim and
Yeah.
T-shirts are going to be really jealous.
Are you playing the music from the Plowhawks computer
No.
from a different route?
Watch the ad.
Taylor.
Gosh, we don't have music. We don't have emails.
No, you're good. I got you. I got
No,
you.
we got nothing.
Building star.
Now I hear music.
What is that?
Yeah, I hear music. Sounds
Yeah,
like,
this is the email of the day music.
We can do it. Yeah, it isn't, but this is good.
sounds like funeral
This is
music.
so good.
Is this a
It's
funeral music?
definitely.
What in the
Dude,
world?
I gotta say, I could have messed with emails of the day today with that music
You
in the
could have.
background.
Yeah. Well, be nice to get this straight.
This is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Well, that's probably better for you.
Yeah, this is good enough. I'm gonna turn aux off so we don't get fined.
Jackson, you can't hear what's being played.
So the people watching won't be able to hear the emails?
They can hear the emails.
That
They
was
don't
all right.
hear the bed.
This is kind of good.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
It'll be fixed tomorrow. Sorry, fellas.
Yeah, I talked to Craig. He said it'll be fixed.
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the designer heating cooling bill.
All right. Okay. All right.
Is our love real now? Now that I've shared a catheter with him?
Oh, gosh. I've had one of those. You do not want to share it.
Oh, but what has he deposited into his pens for me? Perhaps a morsel or two, elevated with some brown porridge chunks in the urinary tract infection. He left me waiting. I left him pulsating, Doug. That's from Doty's Takeaway.
Okay. Doty's
Boy, they're critiquing that swing of a guy that doesn't even play golf.
And Young. Makes me uncomfortable when Pot Roast talks about golfers from old country. Thanks. It's from #1 Asian intern Brian Hench.
Well, you should probably follow golf because they're from Australia, not Korea, buddy. So.
Guys, I haven't emailed in, but maybe a handful of times over the past several years. But this morning's soccer talk was some of the best and, at the same time, worst content that has ever been listened to by the St. Louis general public.
I don't know.
Provided they have HD2 capabilities and know how to use it. With all that being said, I have a question for you and Doug. What exactly was Preston Wilson swinging at most of the time? Thanks. That's from Damon.
Damon. Preston
The
Wilson.
music every
Gosh,
now and
music
then-
going back a
It's
ways.
working. I'm telling you.
It gets me every now and then. I forgot it playing, and then you hear the.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
Sound like the Kool-Aid guy.
Well, guys, you did it. Just when it seemed that the conversation could not get any worse, the uninformed, piping hot soccer takes were trumped by some basic second-grade phonics challenges, leaving the hosts and audience both exasperated and exhausted. It is about time someone laid into drivers without license plates. They had it coming. I haven't been this worked up. What's going on
I'm
right
just
now?
going to hold it up there for everybody.
Why? We're right in the middle
Right
of
in
email
like the
segment.
middle of an email.
Well, Tim can read. I'm just holding it up.
But it's distracting.
What
And it
is it,
doesn't have anything to
supposed
do with his email.
Well, we have it in our studio. We're big fans.
It is about time that someone laid into drivers without license plates. They had it coming. I haven't been this worked up since KG got a key fob. But, you know me, I don't get worked up about petty things. I did enjoy stumbling across a picture from This Day in Rock History of Jim Morrison, Joan Arbitrage, and a T-Rex chipping onto a green from 15 yards away at Family Golf.
A T-Rex.
That's from Shooter McGavin, the vice president of Runners Batted Inns.
For Shooter McGavin.
Did you guys realize that if you rearrange the letters in Michelob Ultra presents the TMA Hit and Giggle, you get another phrase? Gareth's rewarding boy cavity makes my loins tingle. Here's another fun fact. I'm not wearing any underwear today because I soiled my britches on the way to work. And by work, I mean the sauna at the Club Fitness in Fenton. Yes, I earn money for the work I perform in the steam room. And no, I don't claim the income on my taxes because it's none of Uncle Sam's business where I put my curious little fingies. If I want to hide my cash in an oven and then accidentally burn that money by absentmindedly preheating said oven, that's my business. Anyway, I enjoy going commando on chilly fall mornings because I like the way the crisp autumn breeze feels on my yearning autumn hole. I've never heard that. Yearning autumn hole.
Oh, what's an autumn hole?
What's an autumn hole? That's when the weather turns a bit cooler and your gape widens with excitement because it instinctively knows the swamp-ass season's over and you're a little closer to that magical time of year when Chris, the chubby chiropractor from Carbondale, starts to grow out his winter bush.
Oh.
Shh. Don't tell Gareth about Chris, though. I don't want anyone to get jealous when my mud tunnel starts to dilate. It's from the JV golf coach.
Good one. JV golf coach, especially Vile this morning.
More an easy decision to give Ken the game ball for today's show. It was truly impressive watching syphilis and 60 years of garbage living finally catch up to someone in a 3-hour period. One can only assume he is clipping these segments as resume tapes for 101 ESPN or for a glorious return to Springfield as Ned's intern. Segments like today are why sales staffs are guilted into throwing a surprise 10:04 a.m. pizza party for 30-year-old radio anniversaries. Again, I'm enjoying the show. That's just a kid with ADT.
Just a kid with ADT.
Oh, my God. Let's say you went to Brown and you didn't watch the soccer game last night because you were busy searching Cash Me Outside Girl OnlyFans leak. Would you be more or less likely to make a complete ass of yourself discussing a sport you proudly ignore? Sure, we're used to listening to Pepper and Jeannie trash the Cardinals after not watching any games, but they're a last-place dumpster fire. The Doggies are still in first place, and we're 88% of the way through the season. Last night sucked, but they won their 3 previous home games by a combined score of 11-4 and have been one of the most fun teams to watch in all of MLS. We're most likely going to be hosting playoff games here in the near future. We don't need to listen to a pair of ignoramuses grasp at straws for reasons to bitch about soccer. Iggy actually asked, quote, how many of those people at the game do you think are soccer fans? He's a horse's ass for doing that!
Oh.
I'm not trying to get anyone fired, but I just wish we'd spent the 7 o'clock hour discussing Iggy's ongoing Cold War with his neighbors instead of the brutal soccer discussion, or at least pivoted onto a different topic sooner. I'm not a complicated man. I like simple pleasures, like butter in my ass and lollipops in my mouth.
Gosh.
In particular, I like to listen to ADT Radio, where a confused old discusses an obviously photoshopped celebrity group photo as if they were really hanging out at CGBG's, or how he forgot the cute little guy he wanted to top at an MMF was the brother of the other girl in the threesome. Is that a new report? That's Buck Swope.
Buck Swope with a nice little email
And that's
this
what we
morning.
have for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Jackson and I have to go down the hallway and deal with it.
Buck Swope brought it strong. JV golf coach a little too vile for my liking. I'm going to vote for Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, that's the only choice today, Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin, the vice president of Runners Batted Inns, has won the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. That's a nice win.
It is a nice day.
You like this shirt? Defense Doggies Defense, TMASTLshop.com. Switch on over to 101 ESPN. I don't think the YouTube situation has been remedied there, so you can't watch us. That's a shame for you.
Your loss.
Yeah, that's exactly right, but you can text in. We're at a point now where we can't tell if the texts are from real 101 listeners or from TMA listeners. You guys are doing really good work. Time for us to shut it down for the plug for Action Jackson, from Kenneth Higgins, from our brother Kevin Douglas on Vaughn, Tim McKernan. This has been the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT